Bordeaux got a crash on the right shoulder, Briley Parkway northbound at Centennial. Accident left lane blocked, Briley Parkway northbound before County Hospital Road. Then in Lebanon, road work, left lane blocked, 840 eastbound before Stewart's Ferry Pike. Downtown on the South Loop going eastbound, there's a crash right there at 65. And then back over to the West Loop, an accident on the right shoulder, 40 westbound right there at 65. Creve Hall stalled a vehicle, right shoulder block, 65 northbound at Harding Place. Talbot's Corner crash, 65 southbound near Trinity Lane. I'm Ken Weaver.
Ow, did you see that? Did you see it? Hopefully you did not have Talk TV on.
I didn't, but that was just a special present
That was
for me.
something just for you. I was trying to, your headphones, if you've never worn good quality, ow, that really hurt. If you've never worn.
It got you pretty good.
It popped me right in the eye, Jackson, right in the eyeball. If you've never worn good quality studio headphones, professional grade headphones, they have a little snapback to them, and they should. They kind of stretch when they go on your head, and they fit over the ear. I wear the over the ear variety of headphones. Some people do the in the ear. Some people do the buds. I can't do all of that. I got to have my Sony Professionals. What are they? $99, Ken. $99, and I got a backup pair at the house because you never know. There's Ken Weaver. Let's do this proper. Let's say pleasantries. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks, good afternoon, Brother Weaver.
How about you boys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing all right, except
Wish I was outside.
My eye hurts. It's beautiful outside.
I know.
It's been beautiful since this morning when I got up. I'll tell you more about that. I'll complain more about that in just a moment. I actually had to work for a living today, and I didn't like any bit of it. Jackson Williams is behind the glass. He makes sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. These are the folks that you'll hear from time to time, along with yours truly, Matt Murphy. Hello, Jackson.
Hey, buddy.
You enjoy that?
It made my day.
Did it? So Jackson just watched me hit myself in the eye with my own headphones. I was putting my headphones on, and the earpiece in my right hand slipped out of my right hand and slammed into my eye socket. Ow! And it hurt.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine. I'll be good.
Do you need a boo-boo kitty?
If that I do, I do not know what that is, and no.
It's an ice pack. One they make for children. It's in the shape of a little cat.
I've never heard of a boo-boo.
We really, really need to get the more you know sounder on the board. You know what I'm talking about? The more you know. Doon, 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 doon. You know what I'm talking about, Ken? Ken, I know, does. It's like a little starburst, and it says, the more you know. Doon, doon,
Yep,
doon,
I remember
doon.
that.
Yeah. That's what you bring to the table, Jackson. The more you know. Boo-boo kitty. Mm-hmm. No, I do not. Thank you very much. Well, maybe. I don't know. It might swell up on me. Who knows?
There is a little mark, like right here.
It hurts. It hit me right in the eyeball. Anyway, we'll plow through. Play hurt, not injured. Play hurt, not injured. It is a Thursday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Is more basketball tonight?
Yep.
Okay, so we're cranking up the Sweet 16 tonight.
Yeah. What time does Georgia and Oklahoma play?
See, why do you have to be hurtful? Don't understand why you have to be hurtful. Although I'm going to give you a couple of these today because you did bring me an energy drink, and I appreciate that. Publicly and privately, I say thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, buddy.
And I'll pay you back tomorrow at Scoreboard because I'm buying you a cheeseburger.
I'm very excited to be out at Scoreboard tomorrow.
I'm sorry you're not there, Ken.
Oh, me too.
You know, sometimes Ken, Jackson's in on it. Ken, it's hit or miss, y'all. Ken gets out there, doesn't get out. So I don't know. I think more lobbying from the listening audience means more Ken Weaver out and about. That's all I'm saying. Don't talk to me. Talk to New Suit. newsuit@cumulus.com. I don't know. I don't think that's a website, but whatever. I don't think that's an email address. Try it. new.suit@cumulus.com. See what happens.
But this is an establishment that I have frequented often in the past.
Yeah.
It's like a home game for me.
I mean, back in your sports days, you probably did a lot out there, right?
Yeah, and it's also just been like a establishment me and my buddies go to.
So we're out at Scoreboard tomorrow. I think that, isn't there still a Scoreboards out at, is that one gone?
Four Corners at the marina?
Yeah.
That's gone.
That's gone. Okay, so this scoreboard, this is at Opry Mills. Mm-hmm. I mean, y'all know where it is. Right next to Nashville Palace.
Yep.
Right next to Cooters. You ever been into Cooters?
No, I stick to Scoreboard.
Cooters is like a museum, right? Or something, a gift shop maybe? I've never been in.
I'm excited. It's like a home game. It's like if Matt did a show from the nursing home.
You've been, is that what you were doing for an hour by yourself?
Yeah. Well,
show prep, working on these?
Yeah.
You need a little rim shot? No, whatever. So Jackson is very nervous because his Tennessee Volunteers are playing tomorrow. Y'all are playing against what? Who are y'all playing against? Michigan? Who is this?
No, we were playing against.
I can't remember.
The Boilermakers.
No.
Purdue? That would be Purdue.
We're not playing Purdue.
Oh, you're not?
I could have thought about it if you didn't ask
Jackson cannot remember who they're playing now.
Iowa State.
Iowa
the Cyclones.
State. The Iowa State Cyclones, not to be confused with the Iowa whatever they are.
The
Hawkeyes.
The Hawkeyes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So to answer your mean-spirited question, Jackson, as you well know, the Sooners nor the Bulldogs are in the tournament. We're down to the final 16 teams. The Tennessee Volunteers remain one of the 16. And I want to ask you this real quick. So you're leaving a perfectly acceptable sports bar.
One of my favorites.
One of your favorite sports bars where you'll be throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be on-site television producer of the Chad Benson Show, and you'll be executive producing and on-site TV producer of the Matt Murphy Show, per usual, from noon until 7.
Yep.
Then you're what time is tip for Tennessee?
9:15.
So you're leaving Scoreboard, jumping in your car, going somewhere else to watch the game.
Yes.
Why?
We watched the Tennessee-South Carolina 2022 football game at Scoreboard.
Football.
That's a game where Hendon Hooker tore his ACL.
Wait, say that again?
Me and my friends watched the 2022 Tennessee-South Carolina football game at Scoreboard.
So you no longer watch Tennessee Volunteer Athletics at Scoreboard?
No, we will watch games somewhere else and then go to Scoreboard after if it's an early game. I've done that recently.
So if you watch a game out, this is fascinating. Superstitions are fascinating to me. Ken, are you a superstitious sort?
No.
I'm not either. I don't, you can ruin your life that way, Jackson. You ruin your life. Take it from me. I mean, what happens if you're getting up to go pee and something wonderful happens? Do you get to go pee or do you not get to go pee?
You take a chair in there.
So this establishment, do you want to name the establishment you're going to or you want to keep it down low? I don't care. Okay, down low. So you're going to a different place. Why this place?
Because Tennessee won on Sunday.
Okay, so you were watching the Volunteers win against Virginia?
Yep.
Okay. What happens if they lose tomorrow?
It goes on the list.
How many on the list? What is the list?
Buddy, I went to college during the Pruitt era. It's longer than Santa's.
So if you go to a sports bar and you watch the Tennessee Vols lose a game, you don't go back to that sports bar to watch the game?
No, I'll go back. Just not when Tennessee's playing.
That's what I'm saying, to watch a Tennessee game. You will not go back to watch a Tennessee game. You choose a different one.
Yep.
Man, this is
very blessed to live in Nashville, Tennessee, where there is an abundance of bars.
Well, I mean, that's the good thing. I suppose you're never going to run out. I just that man. That's a lot. Whew. That's
Now,
a lot.
What if they lose, Brother Jackson, and it's because you weren't at the place you don't go to?
See, that's a double negative. Proof positive that this superstition crap is junk. Double negative.
Is this Inception?
I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
Me neither. Double movie mayhem?
We should give it to each other this weekend and
It's
then
about
compare.
4 hours long.
Is it really?
Oh, no.
It's pretty long.
Isn't that
I remember?
that's the one where we don't know where we are? We're bouncing back in time and
Who's the director?
I can't remember.
It's a famous one.
Is it Nolan? Christopher Nolan?
I think
Yeah,
so,
because he
yes.
did.
Let's see.
There's Tenet.
I might be thinking of Tenet is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, it's the same guy who did Tenet. So
Inception is a 2010 film. Yes, written and directed by Christopher Nolan. Oh, I'm proud of mype. I knew
Let's
that.
let it go, Brother Murphy.
How about that? Starring Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leo DiCaprio.
I thought it was Matt Damon.
Oh, Leo is I hope I'm not. Spoiler alert! It stars Leo DiCaprio as a thief who steals secrets from people's dreams.
Yeah, that's what it was about. And I'm sorry, it's not 4 hours long, boys. I was wrong. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
You know, anything over 2 hours may as well be 4 hours to Jackson. That's what he had. Hey, when we do this movie Mayhem, Ken,
Yeah.
when he's begging me to give him particular movies, which I try to never do,
Right.
he always says, how long is it? How long is it? Is it a smooth 85 minutes?
A tight 85.
Oh, pardon me. Is it a tight 85 minutes?
Or as Andy Samberg says, toit.
Doink. All right, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. Scoreboard. Y'all come out and see us. We'd love to see you. You can find us today on today's show on TuneIn, iHeart, Spotify, our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. You can also find us on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Thank you for participating in the show. Thank you for joining in via the super text line or the phone line, 615-737-9986. We'd love to hear from you as always. Hey, what is it costing nowadays to go on that Talk Television side and give us the old thumbs up or the like and subscribe, Ken? What does that cost?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
I mean, you heard the man. It costs you nothing, and it does, in all sincerity, it does us a favor because it builds the digital platform. That helps us out a lot. If you like what we do on Supertalk 99.7 WTN, do us that one favor and give us the old thumbs up. It's episode 1006. 1006 episodes. It's also day 431 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. That's out of 1,460.5. We like to remind you of that just to annoy the liberals. We're going to talk about superstitions, and we're going to talk about nostalgia in just a moment because apparently there's a pretty big deal happening up in Goodlettsville. At least if you were around the state in the late 80s, throughout the 1990s, it's probably a pretty big deal to you in terms of your past. I'm talking about the Rivergate Mall. I've had one experience in the Rivergate Mall, and I'm going to share that experience with you in a moment on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about your safety, particularly safety in the workplace. Defend Systems can assist. If you're a decision maker at your place of business, at your school, at your church, really any place that people gather, if you make any of the decisions about how to comport yourself security-wise and whatnot, I encourage you to contact Brink Fiddler with Defend Systems. They are a life safety and security consultation firm. They're based right here in Middle Tennessee. Now, what do? They come into your place of business, they come into your school, your church, and they can train your staff as to what to do in the unlikely event that you have an active shooter situation, that you have a workplace violence that might break out. These are things that happen, and the possibility of them happening to you are astronomically low. We're not here to scare you, but the fact of the matter is they're not zero. And that means that hope is not a plan. It is time to get trained up on what to do. Emergency and intruder action plans, rapid response medical training, and all of this is customized to your staff. and to your facility to your specifications. That's what it's all about. Go to defensesystems.com to find out more. Brink and his team can help. defensesystems.com or give them a call at 615-236-6484. 236-6484 for Defense Systems.
We'll let you hear some of what President Trump had to say during a cabinet meeting, and a new Vanderbilt University poll showing a majority of Nashvillians losing confidence in their leaders. We'll tell you about it at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, that's a poll I can get behind. I don't get behind many of them. I've got a poll for you a little bit later on. It involves Americans and the engagement in Iran. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I went into this in a somewhat trepidatious fashion in terms of my attitude. I had faith in the administration, and all I'm left with is hope. Hope is an indication that there's no possibility of you affecting an outcome of a situation, and that's certainly the case when it comes to Iran. And so I have to hope that there are people that are smarter than me, that understand what's going on over there. But slowly and surely, folks, I take no pleasure in telling you this, but much like presidents before him that have attempted to engage in this fashion, Donald Trump thought he was on firm ground. The president of the United States walked on that ground, and he's now slowly sliding into the quicksand that can become a quagmire in the Middle East. And by the time you're up to your shins in quicksand, you don't really know it, and then there's not a way to get out of it. And it is unrealistic to speak about this in a fashion other than this. We're either willing to do the things necessary to get ourselves out of it victorious, or we're not. And if we're worried about deadlines and if we're worried about boots on the ground, which I understand we're all worried about, if we're worried about those things and not worried about victory, might I suggest that we're focused on the wrong things? Hey, will you let him know, or have you? Because, yeah, she's here. 615-737-9986. We've got a very special guest coming up next segment. Her name is Eva Angelina Romero, and she is running for State House District number 60, and I'm highlighting her because she is a Republican running in what is typically considered a Democrat stronghold, but I think Eva Angelina Romero has a good opportunity to wrest that away from the Democrats, so we'll be talking with her. And also, I met Eva some years ago, and I was very impressed with her, and she told me those many years ago. It was a couple of years ago, I guess I met her, and she said to me that she was planning on potentially entering into politics at some future time. And so I'm excited to introduce her to the listening audience, particularly those of you who are in State House District number 60. So we'll do that coming up in just a couple of minutes. So Trump is almost knee-deep in it, and I'm not suggesting that they don't know something that I don't know. I'm not suggesting that we can't come out of this in a victorious fashion. I just don't understand what victory looks like, especially when we're so focused on timelines, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do anything. You know, it occurs to me that we're bombing the hell out of these people, and there's no question about that. From a ground perspective, we're just destroying, military facilities. We're destroying, pieces of military equipment. We're destroying ships and putting them in the bottom of the... We're doing all of those things. And so we're like kicking ass and taking names on the battlefield, yet we're the ones that seem to be desperate to get to the table of peace negotiations and get to the table of peace talks. Isn't that normally the other way around? Isn't it in the normal course of warfare, the guys that getting their butts kicked are the ones that are asking to end it all? But that doesn't seem to be the case here. And years ago, and we were talking about this earlier today as we were recording Mostly Peaceful with Chris and Dan Mandis and myself, a particularly good episode, if I do say so myself, and it dropped Saturday morning, that I remember talking to someone about the Vietnam War years and years ago. And obviously, I was too young to experience it in real time. I was born in 1973. And this was someone who was in the war who said, the problem with the Vietnam War is halfway into it, instead of focusing on how to win it, we started focusing on how to get out of it. And when you start focusing on how to get out of it and not how to win it, you're not in it to win it, and you can't. And I understand it's been 4 weeks. I get that. But still, just feels odd to me. In the meantime, a lot of other stories going on. YouTube has been found liable for certain aspects of the there was a civil case. I guess it was out in California. We'll talk about that. Sheridan Gorman. I have an update on Sheridan Gorman as well. The Preds have a Pride Night, which seems odd to me. But we'll discuss that as well. And, a big no king bite, not a boycott, a boycott in Memphis. You know what a boycott is, Jackson?
No idea.
You know what a boycott is?
Yes.
That's when you refuse to engage in a certain, commercial arrangement. You refuse to buy certain goods and services. You refuse to utilize certain aspects of, a society for the purpose of affecting some sort of societal change. Sure. Montgomery bus boycott, one of the more famous boycotts in American history, where African Americans refused to ride buses in Montgomery, and they crippled the Montgomery bus system because they were far and away the most frequent riders of buses back in the 1950s in Montgomery, Alabama, when this happened in 1955, I think it was. So they stopped riding. They didn't ride for a year, and they suffered. I mean, African Americans suffered in Montgomery. They had to walk everywhere they went. They had to carpool everywhere they went. Not using the buses was a serious inconvenience to them, but they did it for a broader purpose. They were resisting the concept of having to go to the quote-unquote back of the bus when it came to ridership, Rosa Parks, et cetera, et cetera. Very famous case. Boycotts don't work if the people boycotting don't have to suffer as a result of the boycott. In other words, if you boycott all of this, we're going to boycott gasoline for a day. Oh, yeah, that'll show them. You're going to buy it the day before, aren't you, or the day after? Nobody cares. Blip on the radar screen. So we've gone from these one-day type boycotts to now in Memphis, the political liberals are calling it a boycott, where they're saying that we're going to show these people that are doing things we don't like by going out and buying things in Memphis. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's 31 after the hour. Plus, our guest, Eva Angelina Romero, is coming in studio with us. We're going to talk to her about her candidacy for the 60th House seat number 60 in the Tennessee State House. That is on the way next on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump in a cabinet meeting at the White House today insists that the Iranians want to work with the U.S. and repeats his criticisms of NATO allies who have said they will not get involved in the war.
This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression. Never forget. You can never forget.
Here in Middle Tennessee, a new Vanderbilt University poll shows Nashville leaders facing some of their lowest approval ratings on record following the city's devastating January ice storm. More than half of residents now say Nashville is on the wrong track, a sharp increase from last year with frustration centered largely on storm response. Mayor Freddie O'Connell's approval dropped more than 10 points, while Nashville Electric Service saw the steepest disapproval. And NES CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin admitting they failed when it came to communication during the ice storm.
More than $500,000 spent on an outage map that provided outdated information.
The outage map struggled under storm scale load and mostly with outage reporting through the outage map.
And that text alert system that told people their power was back on when it wasn't. After touting for years that NES was implementing a $250 million communication system, only 10 grand was spent on the text alert system. Broyles-Applin admitting ratepayers were literally and figuratively left in the dark.
Estimates weren't issued early, and they weren't incredibly reliable.
NES says it has upgraded the outage map and texting system and hired a public information officer to respond to media questions. By the way, that was Channel 4's chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over on the West Loop, we've got a crash blocking the Gore 40 westbound there at 65. Creve Hall, a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 65 northbound at Harding Place. Talbot's Corner, 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. I'm Ken Weaver.
Grace Point Healthcare is affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine, and they do things a little bit differently at Grace Point, and I love telling you about it. It's a direct pay format. What does that mean? That means that instead of begging your insurance company to cover certain aspects of the treatment that they do at Grace Point, they deal directly with you. And so you know exactly what you're paying up front. You pay Grace Point, and then you can get reimbursed through your insurance company after the fact. This is, frankly, the way that it should be. Everywhere around, it's not, sadly, but at Grace Point Healthcare, this is the way that they do it because you get a more direct relationship with your healthcare provider. You don't have insurance companies or pharmaceutical companies telling you what can and cannot be covered, and so they don't direct the doctors at Grace Point to do anything that they wouldn't do already in terms of the best possible outcomes for you. That's what it's all about. They are a primary care provider from newborns to seniors. They'd love to see you. They're over in Franklin, 599-6868. And oh, by the way, thanks to the big, beautiful bill, you can now use your HSA to cover their Smart Care plan, which is $99 a month for adults, $79 for the kids, and this gets you unlimited office visits throughout the course of the year. You don't have to pay anything additional to that cost, plus basic labs and diagnostics covered for you as well, and it's all paid through your HSA. That's what it's all about, friends. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Call 599-6868, 599-6868. Super Talk 99.7 WT, and I'm very excited about this conversation that we're about to have. You know, we talk about Davidson County and how it is kind of a pocket of what I would call liberalism in a state that is largely red or conservative or Republican. And you wonder, well, why in the world do not more people try to, you know, cast their hat, the proverbial hat, into the ring and offer themselves up to public service in some of these areas that seem to be woefully underserved by liberal politics? Well, I met this next young lady a couple of years ago. We were talking about doing some advertising work together, and it was such a delight to meet her. And at the time that we had a conversation, I recall her saying, you know, I'm kind of interested in politics, Matt. You might see me on the ballot one of these days. And I'm like, okay, Eva, you do you. And, you know, but watch out because they'll bite you over there. And here she is. Eva Romero is running as a candidate for Tennessee State House number 60. And we have the pleasure. We saw each other at the 917 Society event at Cabaret. And we're like, let's get you in here. Hey, Eva.
Thank you. Hi, Matt. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Gosh, Matt, I do remember that conversation.
Yeah.
About saying someday I'm going to
You're
put my
gonna
name
do
out
it.
there. I'm going to do it. And here I am.
And here you are. So you want to run for State House 60.
Correct.
And tell for those that maybe don't know, where is that generally speaking?
So that is Davidson County, and it encompasses Old Hickory, Hermitage, and Donaldson. And I like to say river to river. And there's a little bit over 70,000 people in that district.
And
Yes.
it is currently there's a Democrat
Yes,
in
there
that
is.
seat, and you're running as a Republican.
I am running as a Republican.
Proud
Republican.
Tell me what informs you that you're a Republican.
So what informs me, or what informs most people?
Well, just what informs you. I mean, what through your life,
Yes,
what
yes.
kind of this is kind of where I'm at from a political
So
perspective.
my mother came to this country in search of the American dream. Freedom, faith, family, those are the core values that I was taught as a kid. My mom, especially my mom. And that's what I was taught. And government has a place, very important place. But I think those are pillars for me, having freedom and having freedom of speech, having core values. And a lot of people might not know this, or some do, but Mexican-American families are very much tied to American values, faith, family, freedom. So my mom, without knowing, she was a Republican all her life. So I remember her watching the news and seeing Kennedy and seeing Reagan and seeing all these great leaders that she loved. And so for me, faith, family, freedom, that's very important.
Where did you grow? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in California. I was born and raised there. That's where my mom arrived when she was about 16 from Mexico. And yeah, she loved this country. So she taught me to love this country because she quickly learned the freedom and everything that this country had to offer her.
When did you get to Tennessee?
I got to Tennessee in about 2010, which is interesting because I never thought I would be in the South, but I loved Southern history. I taught Southern history in high school when I was a teacher. Yeah.
Okay.
And I loved it. And I had a heart for the South. I just had a heart. And I studied the Civil War in college. And I just loved the South. The South reminded me so much of, there's just so much rich history here.
Right.
And here I am now in Tennessee, and I love this. I love the state.
What calls you to run in this race? I mean, what do you see in Davidson County? What do you see that's underrepresented in District Number 60?
I think we need more of a voice in that district. I think a lot of times locally, I don't think our district has a voice right now. I feel like there's a lot of things that matter to families, day-to-day things, local issues, things that matter, schools, safety, lower taxes. These things are things that matter to families, and I don't think our district has a voice right now.
I mean, you in your day-to-day life, you're a realtor.
Yes, I am.
And the lack of affordability in Davidson County is extreme.
It's getting
And
worse.
it seems that local leadership continues to make it worse. I wonder if you have any thoughts on, I mean, because I hear from people all the time, the property tax rates,
Yeah.
the businesses are getting a lot of attention, and as they should, because where they're having to close their doors, but the residents, they can't afford it.
Yeah, especially our elderly. I would say that taxes have been such a hardship even for myself. I'm a small business owner. I own property. It was hard. It was hard to pay that tax bill. And I get it. And running a business in Davidson County is harder because a lot of these business owners do have triple net leases that have to pay taxes. So that obviously is in their day-to-day expense. So, but just your home, Matt, just your home. I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I help first-time buyers. And let me tell you, that is like their safety net. That is stability. That is literally the cornerstone of this country of building wealth. That is the American dream for a lot of families. So the fact that there is a risk with these increases, and to us, $100 might not be a lot, but for some people it is a lot. And it's not only $100. We're talking a couple of $100 that went up. There needs to be something that we can put safeguards, especially for our elderly. I would say 65 and over. There's got to be something regarding property taxes. We got to do something about that because it just keeps increasing, and just day-to-day families that are struggling.
It occurs to me. I mean, obviously, this is a local decision made through the Metro Council and through the mayor's office. But I mean, obviously, the General Assembly could speak to it. If you were in the General Assembly, would this be a priority to try to, I'm loath to ask, the state to come in and tell local communities what to do. But at the same time, the local residents don't seem to have any place to go for relief. Except to an organization like the General Assembly.
Yes, I think we have to be a little louder. Definitely, we have to. We need a solution to this, especially for homeowners. And I do think having a strong voice, taxes, property taxes specifically, need to be a conversation at a local level. And we need to be a stronger voice at a state level. We need something. We need solutions.
So, I mean, the elephant in the room, you're Hispanic American.
Yes.
And so I guess the elephant question in the room would be your thoughts on, policies in the state of Tennessee affecting illegal aliens, affecting, this to me isn't a color issue. It's an issue of law. And I think it gets positioned that way too much. And I think, frankly, the left is doing it almost as a bludgeon against people who just want to see law and order followed. Now, what are your thoughts on the issues of immigration?
We all know on both sides we need reform. We all know immigration reform. We need to follow the law. My mother taught me that. And we all want to feel safe. Every American, not only Hispanics, not everybody needs to feel safe. So I think we need to just follow whatever the law is, and we need to be vocal about tactics. Yes, there needs to be transparency, but we all want safety, Matt. It's not a color issue. So I think it's important to focus on the facts. The facts is that everybody wants to feel safe, and yes, we need criminals to be gone. Absolutely, we agree on that.
Right.
And I think, yes, everybody's talking about ICE and different things, and I just focus on the fact that we need to follow the law. There are laws in place. We need to respect them, like my mother did, right? She had to go through everything legally.
Right.
It cost her money, it cost her time, it cost her family, but she did it, right? And we have to continue to have those conversations. And we know all the things regarding immigration, and it's always been an issue. It's not something new. It's just, I think sometimes the narrative around it is different. We know, there's a lot of, we need to continue to have conversations about that.
I feel for you, and as you sit here today, I mean, it has to hit a little bit differently because, I mean, I don't want it to be a color-based or an ethnicity-based or a country of origin-based issue. I wanted an issue to be of law and order. You know this about me. We talked about it. But it's got to hit a little bit differently within the Hispanic community. Yeah. Is that fair?
It is. It is fair. I think it hits a lot differently. For me, I was born as an American. I knew I was of Mexican descent.
Right.
But I was taught to embrace this country for what it is and continues to be.
Right.
The land of the free. Right. So I feel that there's just so much going on in regards to that is misunderstood. And we need to, it does hit different because everybody, and that's another thing, Matt, that everybody assumes that, and I hate this, but people assume that you're Latina or you're Hispanic and you automatically fall into a category, which is incorrect. I would say that there's a lot of conservatives that are Hispanic, tons of immigrants. And it's how do you define an immigrant as well? Like, what do you define an immigrant? We are the land. We have a lot of immigrants to contribute to this, our country.
Now, you touched on this. I think that the political left, they've lived for a long time using these voting groups, these block votes. I mean, whether it's African-American votes, maybe it's Hispanic votes, but they try to convince groups of people that, hey, the conservatives are out to get you, they're against you. And I just think there's such an untapped wealth of conservative thought and just it truly can. It's the fabric of America. If we just kind of break down those thought impediments almost within those communities, and I think you have an opportunity to do that as a Republican running in District Number 60. What would your focus be? I mean, if you were honored to be elected?
I would be honored to be elected. I want to be a voice for that district. Schools, stronger schools. As you know, I think you know that I was a high school teacher for inner city schools for a long time. I loved teaching high school, and I think teachers deserve, they're angels in my book. But I do think we need stronger schools. A lot of money is going to our education system. We need to see results. We need to see good results. It matters, where you live. Obviously, if you live in a place, you want to make sure, one, you have good schools and you also have safety. Safety is going to be another thing that I focus on. There's a couple of areas that we've seen an increase in crime. So I think we need to focus on that, and taxes, lower taxes, which is something that we all need.
Well, particularly in your areas,
yes,
right, in Davidson
exactly.
County. Clearly there's a need there. Is there a voice? I mean, we're hearing in the news about the results of this National Electric Service Board meeting. A lot of failures recently regarding electrical power, and right behind you, you don't know this yet, but Representative Scott Sapicki's coming up in the 4:00 hour, and he and I have talked quite a bit about the possibility of the state kind of managing the board selection a little more. I mean, not managing it, but opening it up to more communities. Did you experience some of these failures, and what can you say as a candidate for District 60 about National Electric and some of the issues that they've had?
I definitely would have loved to see a lot of things be better, for sure. There was a lot. I think there needs to be a little bit more transparency as well as how things are done at a local level that a lot of people don't know. And I think, there was definitely some failures there. We saw it. There was a lot of people without electricity for a long time. I actually was able to see some of it through the American Red Cross, some of their shelters and things, some of the challenges they had to serve some people that were really in need. Just hearing the reports back, and it was unfortunate. I don't think we need to do better, Matt. We really need to do better.
So your launch is underway.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure you'll be out and about, canvassing, knocking on doors. I hope. I mean, this is kind of just a getting to know you conversation, but I hope you come back to see us, because I'm very excited about the possibility of you winning that seat and being a more and better voice, a bigger voice for the people of District 60, because I think they're completely underserved right now, and I think you would do a great job in the General Assembly.
Thank you, Matt. Oh, I'm definitely going to come back, Matt, and talk to you about issues and things that really matter. So thank you so much, Matt.
How can people find out more about you?
You can go. My website launched at electevaromero, ROMERO.com. And you'll find all the things there. We're going to have our first meet and greet and launch event. So, electevaromero.com.
And you're the only Republican on the ballot.
Yes,
in 60,
I am.
Right?
Yes, I am.
How about that? And I think it's pretty much straight up. It's you and the incumbent, right? The Democrat incumbent.
Correct.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We need to see people out there, Matt. We need to see people. You're definitely gonna go see. You're gonna see me in that district, but. I've been working at a macro level in Davidson County, so. We're
going to talk to Ms. Brooks, and if Ms. Brooks would be willing to come on with us, can three of us get together in a room, talk about different ideology, different philosophy about governing?
I would love that. Let's do it.
We'll make it happen. Eva, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
There's Eva Romero, 53 after the hour. Quick timeout. Scott Speaking coming up at the 4:00 hour at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. I moved down into Murray County. I almost didn't move to Murray County because I knew Sapicki was down there. But then I said, it's too good. It was too good. And the deal was too good in Mount Pleasant. And so I knew I needed to get homeowners insurance, right? And I knew where to go. King and Associates Insurance. King and Associates, you know what they did? Emery, he said, man, Murph, I got your homeowners. Don't worry about it. It's going to be less money. It's going to be great coverage. But you need to let me bundle auto and home. I was like, I think I got the auto covered. He goes, just give me a shot at it. Just tell me what your current coverage is. He came in, better coverage at $300+ less a year for 2 cars. It's insane. I mean, it's great coverage and less money. That's what it's all about at King & Associates Insurance. So without breaking your budget, they'll do the shopping for you, and they'll find the best rates, the best coverage, and you don't have to worry about shopping around. No hassle and no long forms. 615-321-8121, 321-8121, or go to kinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance, where smart money shops.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump says he has extended the deadline for U.S. and Iranian negotiators to reach a deal to end the war, during which he says he will not bomb their big energy facilities. But Iran denies there were any talks, calling it a victory, accusing President Trump of backing down after Iran warned it would target all power plants in West Asia. Meanwhile, Egypt is conveying messages between the U.S. and Iran as part of broader regional efforts to ease tensions and explore negotiations. The Egyptian foreign minister is quoted as saying that today. ABC's Britt Clennett has more from Tel Aviv.
President Trump, earlier we heard from him. He didn't seem overly optimistic about the chance of a ceasefire. We also know we haven't seen a clear headway on those indirect talks that were supposed to be underway in Pakistan. Also, an Iranian official earlier told state media in their response to the proposal, that 15-point plan presented by the Americans, that Tehran has a natural and legal right to control the Strait of Hormuz.
Israeli Defense Forces, meanwhile, say they've killed the head of Iran's Navy that oversees the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. Here in Nashville, confidence in leadership taking a major hit after January's ice storm, according to new polling from Vanderbilt University. The survey shows optimism about the city's direction has fallen to its lowest level in more than a decade, with many blaming failures during prolonged power outages. While most residents blame Mother Nature or Nashville Electric Service more than the mayor, approval ratings for city leaders still dropped sharply. As for NES response to the ice storm, CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin admits they had three major failures, including the $500 million outage map and the $500,000 outage map, that is, and then the $250,000 text alert system, for which they really only spent about $10,000. Channel 4's Holly Thompson says they claim they've made some changes to be better.
Now, here's how NES says they are improving those systems. We know that they say they've upgraded the outage map as well as the texting system. They have developed what they're calling an extreme weather communications playbook. It's to better inform you about those outages. Now, they've also hired a public information officer, PIO, to respond to questions from reporters.
So the Vanderbilt poll covered license plate reader technology. It's still on hold in Davidson County, even though the poll shows a majority of Nashvillians support it. News 2 says the poll shows 57% said it is more important to have LPRs catch criminals rather than prevent local police data from being used for federal or immigration enforcement. The poll sampled a little more than 1,000 Nashville residents from late February to mid-March. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Major brake tapping now, northbound 65, not just to the south loop, but it starts before then. It's complete stop and go up to 440, and then the same up to the south loop. Eastbound 440, complete stop and go traffic between 65 and 24. We've got crashes in the way, Fessler's Lane at Elm Hill Pike, Korean Veterans Boulevard at First Avenue, West End at Murphy Road, Antioch Pike at Harding Place, 40 westbound at 65 West, and Creve Hall, 65 northbound before Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is, for those of you watching on Talk Television, that's up and running. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble on episode 1006. And I just want to sincerely apologize to you because I think it's a considerable jolt to go from someone like Eva Romero to Scott Sapicki, visually speaking. But yet, here we are. And so I sincerely apologize to those watching on Talk Television. Although, I'll tell you, Scott, you have less hair, but it's beautifully coiffed, as Eva's was. Hello, Scott Sapicki.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. You?
It's been a long week. Long week.
You were just, we spent a hot minute talking about Iran, and I'm curious if you're willing to share some of your thoughts on that front. But I asked you a question. I said, how's things going in the old General Assembly? And you're like, it's like, is it a bottleneck? Do we have a bottleneck?
Quagmire.
Oh, yeah. You said quagmire.
How's that for you? Is that good?
Quagmire.
No, it's not that bad. We had that snow week. And then in the House, we took a week off for finance to get, where they had to get to. But, boy, it has just been a slugfest this year, man. It's been just incredible. And I think a lot of it has to do with we're at a point in so many different parts in Tennessee that it's really going well for us. And so you're trying to get the scalpel out to move it a little bit further. And it's just, the discussions are intense on committees right now.
Well, I understand that the focus and so much energy and attention has gone to the trash panda bill. I can understand how that could get, even seasoned.
We never
public servants.
We never count our chickens before they hatch.
I'm not counting anything.
There can be last-minute amendments on the floor.
I have one vote that I'm counting on right now. One.
Hopefully the bill sponsors.
And that's yours.
Oh, okay.
That's yours.
Well, what we're hoping is, we got budget season here, Matt, and we're foregoing we're foregoing revenue over here, and so we're fighting to keep these great 501c3s funded in the state of Tennessee. So and the potholes filled. But if we can't do it, it's cause of Matt.
Here we go. Here comes the politicians begging for money again, begging for your dollars.
Boy.
Look, I'm the least of your worries in the General Assembly. Trust me.
We got bigger fish to fry.
You mentioned education.
Yes.
Are we seeing anything come out of the pipeline in terms of education, and what is it?
Yeah, we're getting very close. You're going to see a technology bill on the House floor next week where we're going to basically not restrict, but we're going to reduce the amount of technology time for our kids in early education to get them focused more on teacher-led instruction instead of just defaulting to the computers, allowing our teachers to drive instruction, but use the technology in a limited function to just kind of supplement the teaching moments. We're looking at higher ed right now to reduce the cost of education for our in-state students across the state of Tennessee, using out-of-state tuition to drop the cost of in-state tuition for our kids. You're going to see bills on guaranteed math, that kids that are excelling in math, giving them the opportunity in middle school to take Algebra 1 to further their math skills. You're going to see we got three different portals right now. The State Board of Education, off a bill we passed last year. It's called their accountability hearings. They're bringing failing districts in and asking them why these schools are failing. And some of these, I've seen the videos, some of these conversations are extremely tough that they're having with these districts, which they should, right?
Yeah.
To make sure we get these schools turned around. We've got a bill coming on Tier 3 intervention. These are our schools that are in the worst shape. Educational outcome, that they're going to have a solution for the Commissioner of Education be able to stay open. And then lastly, on virtual schools, we're having some very tough conversations. We have a lot of virtual schools in the state of Tennessee that are failing our students about closure. So we're getting to the point right now where it's no longer school choice, it's quality school choice.
So define that for me.
Sure.
Forgive my ignorance on it. Virtual schools, what does that define?
So
as?
we have districts across the state of Tennessee that are able to contract with a provider to do online school.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some providers that are statewide. I have a district in Tennessee. I'm not going to get into it right now because they went at accountability hearings. They have 5,400 students in their entire district. 2,600 of them are in a virtual school outside the district.
Okay.
Over half.
Okay.
Why is that?
Money.
Because we pay full boat. So,
all right.
So those districts are making a lot of money on these virtual schools, but this virtual school is a level 1 school, the worst level you can be at for outcomes.
Where's the accountability piece?
That's where that's what we're getting ready to drop the hammer on. Is saying enough. If you're going to be a failing virtual school, or for that matter, a failing school anywhere in Tennessee, we got to have some serious conversations with you about, are you going to continue on doing what you're doing?
Speaking of failing school systems,
yes.
The state, where are we in terms of the state intervening in Shelby County?
We are very close right now. Probably either this coming week or the week after, we will be releasing parts of the forensic audit that we paid to do last year. It's very, very bad. The company that did it in Memphis for us is a nationally known company doing forensic audits that the comptroller outsourced to make sure we have an independent look at this. They said they've never seen a system this bad in the country. Not in Tennessee, in the country. And so I think we've gotten to a point in the General Assembly of like, okay, we have got to put a governing board over this group down there to get this thing back in line, because you're talking almost $2 billion a year we spend. Billion. Yeah. Okay, we got to get this fixed because we're cheating these kids.
Well, Memphis seems to be doing so well in terms of the crime cleanup. And you bring us some you bring stats on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We just saw the president in the state congratulating state and federal officials, along with, and it should be said that once the local, I don't believe that the local authorities at the LEO level were against this at all.
No.
And I was surprised to hear some of the political figures locally over the last week, even when Trump comes in, say, they're going to, kind of hedge their bets a little bit, but they admit there's like, well, we're understaffed or by 1,000 officers, so any additional presence on the streets is going to be a good thing. And I think they're accepting that. These numbers look great on the streets of Memphis. Now it's time to get the numbers back where they should be, or at least at an acceptable level within the classrooms.
Well, you've got, just real quickly, we had 7,400 arrests, 1,200 illegal firearms, 43% crime is down in Memphis, 67% down on robberies, 51% down on sexual assaults, 38% down on homicides, 35% down on burglaries, 32% down on aggravated assaults. It is a blueprint, Matt, of how local, state, and federal authorities can work together to gain control of a city that was overrun by crime. But here's the best part, the one that we kind of gloss over sometimes. 150 missing children were found.
Yep.
If we did nothing else, Matt, but just find those kids, that was a plus right there. But now the General Assembly is going to double down. We're getting 50 more troopers that we're going to assign down there to Memphis permanently. So long-term solution is we're going to have a presence down there that can make sure we can control what's coming in and out of Memphis.
Well, and I was about to say that the fear is that, we see these successes. We see, and some, detractors will say, well, crime's going down in a lot of different places. Well, that's true because there's a tough approach at the federal level, and that filters down to the various states and to the local communities. That's all well and good, and I'm glad to see those rates go down. But Memphis is going down way faster, and the percentages are way larger than, the average city of that size. This has been a success. The fear is that once we wind down the task force, that we go back to business as usual in Memphis. Correct. And that's what we need to avoid.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give them extra resources for law enforcement. We're going to leave extra help with TBI down there. The additional state troopers, we're going to give them more money for their courts to be able to process in a more efficient manner so the DAs don't let them out. We're going to prosecute the bad guys.
Is, Congressman Andy Ogles every time we talk about Memphis, he wants to talk about Nashville. And I don't know that Nashville is anywhere close to the same place that Memphis was. I mean, crime can always be decreased. I'm not diminishing the crime statistics that exist in Nashville, but they're down too year over year. Are we in a place in Nashville or in the metro region where we need a task force like this, or can the state and the local officials?
I think what would be really interesting is let's do it in Nashville and see what it looks like. Hopefully it's not that bad, right? Hopefully we don't have the number of arrests or the number of missing children. Hopefully it's like, oh, you know what? It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but what's the harm?
Or if it is, let's get it cleaned back up, right? And I think that partnership with the Mayor O'Connell and coming on board with the state and the federal, I think it's like, okay, was Memphis an anomaly, or can it be duplicated in another major city? And if we can get that data that, yes, it can be duplicated, now you've created a blueprint across the country to get these major cities back in line, a Chicago, a Minneapolis, a Detroit, right? Let's see if it can work for those two.
And by the way, you know this, and most in the audience know this, but were the circumstances slightly different? If we were talking about a Barack Obama or a Joe Biden partnering with the state of Tennessee to clean the state, this would be a national news story.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they would be lauding the success of this program, the integration of federal and state and local officials, and how this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to work together. You don't hear a peep out of the national news because it's our man Donald Trump doing it.
Right, and I know you've got Leader Johnson that comes on all the time.
Yeah.
Well, he has another bill that we're running through the General Assembly on the 287G program for local law enforcement to partner with ICE to help in finding these people that are here illegally and getting the process more efficient to get them back out of Tennessee and deported where they're supposed to go. So he has a bill, Senate Bill 2223, that basically tells the sheriffs you have to pick from a certain number of things to work with. You can either work with the jail enforcement model, the warrant service officer model, or the task force model to help partner with ICE to identify people that are here illegally and get them out.
So I've gotten just a laundry list of people. No, I've got a couple subjects that are coming up because people ask me, they want me to ask you about marijuana. Every time you're on, they want me to ask you about medical marijuana or whatever.
It's a leaf drug.
I got it. But, Sally's a good example. Yes, Sapicki. Bring a state and federal task force to Nashville. We need to clean out crime. Start with Freddie O'Connell on the Metro Council. All right, that last sentence notwithstanding, I can count 1, 2, 3, at least 3 listeners who are saying yes. So how do we encourage this? Talk to Governor Bill Lee. Who do we need to encourage to bring this to Nashville?
I think what you got to do, first of all, folks, is email your representatives, email your senators, and say, hey, it's time for Nashville, right? And then get a campaign, get like the Beacon Center, get Americans for Prosperity to start to energize the grassroots in Nashville to say you can have the success of Memphis. Could you imagine economically if we got Memphis and Nashville as the 2 safest cities in the country, the opportunities for tourism and expansion and culture that those two would afford? I'm telling you, it could be a destination place that, Las Vegas would be really jealous of.
Well, and Nashville still enjoys great tourism, but I have noticed in my 4 years, and I'm not, the canary in the coal mine here. I'm not claiming to be, but I'm just telling you my observation that things have changed. It's hardened, in those touristy areas. Those touristy areas have gotten a little hardened even in the 4 years that I've been here. And what I mean is, a little more aggressive panhandling, more aggressive, the nature of, and look, I'm not knocking the homeless, but you know what I'm talking about, homeless people being a little more aggressive with the tourists. That sort of thing is going to start keeping people away if we allow it to grow. And I think you bring up an excellent point, so Piggy. What's the harm? I mean, if there's nothing more that the feds can do, then their presence here will be short-lived, and then great.
And we'll know.
We'll know. Otherwise, if they can impact crime in the city of Nashville, wouldn't we want to do that? I don't see any harm in this.
So some of the things you hear about when you talk to law enforcement is because there's so many people coming in and out of Nashville in tourism, right? Especially the Broadway tourism, that there's probably a lot of the trades going on that we don't want to talk about.
Fair.
And so if we bring these task force in, it's going to be a massive crackdown on that, which it should be, right? We found 150 missing children in Memphis.
How many can we find in Nashville?
How many can we find in Nashville? How many gangs can we find here in Nashville, right? How many drug dealers? Let's try to really focus on this, and then maybe have two of the safest cities in the country right here in Tennessee.
Be nice. All right, a couple of subjects that we'll bring up with Scott coming up. You've asked me to ask, and I will, on the medical marijuana piece, or the marijuana bills that are running through the General Assembly. Plus, several of you have asked about the intent to go armed piece, which was found to be, there's language in the Constitution found to be unconstitutional. And I know that General Assembly is working on repairing that. We'll ask Scott about that in a moment. 22 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Fellas, I'm not here to get into your business, but let me ask you some simple questions. Are you feeling kind of lower energy than normal? Have you noticed that this has been happening over the last several weeks, maybe months? Did you know that it isn't just, I'm getting older and this is the way it is, especially if it has presented itself in bedroom activity? And look, guys, I'm not here to get into that side of the business either, right? That is your personal business. But when it comes to Tennessee Men's Clinic, they're going to talk with you about it. One of their qualified urologists will walk through what you're experiencing, and they'll get some blood work from you. And for less than $100 for your initial examination, they're going to figure out what's going on in your body. And if you're dealing with lower testosterone, men, you don't have to put up with this. This is not 1976. This is 2026. You can get back in the game, men, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Let the local authority assist you in doing this. Don't trust these online sites. Go to Clarksville. They've got a location there. Cool Springs, one in Nashville, and now Murfreesboro. It's the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Schedule that appointment. One convenient number, 615-208-9090.
And President Trump says he's extending the pause on hitting Iran's big energy plants. We'll tell you about that coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, coming up in just a couple of minutes, it's Pride Night at Bridgestone Arena. So,
In America?
No.
In Tennessee?
No, Sapicki, no. It's Gay Pride Night at the Nashville Predators, and it's just a little. Look, I'm just going to ask some open-ended questions. I feel like the gay community won, and I don't feel like these are necessary anymore. I feel like they're more exclusionary than not, and I don't know. I've got a few questions, but that's for a conversation down the road after we finish up with our legislative liaison. He is Representative Scott Sapicki, who joins us. A little bad news for those of us who are gun enthusiasts who want to see the issue of constitutional carry cleaned up in the state of Tennessee. You just got the latest on the intent to go armed. So the Constitution has weird, janky language with regard to your ability to carry. And it was struck down by court, and so we've got to repair it in the General Assembly, but from the sound of it, it doesn't look like that's happening this year.
No, it doesn't. I know, and I'm. This is out of my normal thing here, so I'm kind of.
I know you're. Yeah,
I'm asking for help here, and I got some help. So I know that there was a big push to look at the intent to go armed law that we had that got struck down in court, and how we could fix it and make it, I guess, constitutional again. I guess that's what I'm looking for. I lean more on the purist side of the Constitution, so
sure.
I may be a little bit more aggressive than some other people on this. But I know they were having discussions. I know there were bills on fixing this issue. And from what I've been told, this all got parked in the Senate till next year. Well, there's no next year because it's a new General Assembly. So we go back to square one.
So you're moving to the next session.
Next session.
And it's to kind of start that process back over
It'll
again.
go to the 115th General Assembly.
Well, that's in the other body.
Keep going.
And, you keep pushing forward. You got to fix it. I mean, I feel like you have to fix the language. So
sometimes by the courts overturning you don't have to fix it because it fixes itself. You know what I mean? If what you do is deemed unconstitutional, then you revert back to what it was. I don't know. It's not my expertise.
I don't know. You know what? I need to find out what that. I've not read the ruling. I need to find out for myself.
Two guys you might want to have on. If you want, I'll make a recommendation to you. Is either Clay Doggett, who is the chairman of Criminal Justice Sub, or obviously William Lambert, the majority leader.
Yeah, I know
those
William
would be two
Lambert
great guys.
Would be good. So, but it's our understanding that it has been parked in the Senate.
Yes.
For this session.
Yeah, that's a polite way we say another word for killed.
Right. You say summer study.
Yeah.
What is summer study?
Well, sometimes it means something, honestly. I'll give you a great example. There was a bill on education innovation, like looking at how we do education in Tennessee, and we had a summer study. I was up here for 4 or 5 meetings, and we had we got a bill that came out of it, and it's being run in the General Assembly to make education better. And then sometimes summer study means it's a polite no thank you.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
From
it's a hug with a no.
Sure. Can you stick around for a couple of other questions?
Yeah,
you got a minute or two longer we've got to do.
If I leave now with the traffic, I get home at the same time in an hour from now. It doesn't matter.
That's true. It's 4:30 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the news.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury update. President Trump says on Truth Social, talks with Iran are, quote, going very well. So he's extended the pause on striking their big energy plants for another 10 days. President Trump, in a cabinet meeting earlier today at the White House, said,
They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal. And anybody that saw what was happening over there would understand why they want to make a deal.
So even though Iran says there were no talks, Egypt says it is conveying messages between the U.S. and Iran as part of broader regional efforts to ease tensions and explore negotiations. A new Vanderbilt poll suggesting the January ice storm may have carried serious political consequences for Nashville leaders. 56% of respondents said the city is on the wrong track. That's a dramatic swing from last year, following widespread outages and slow recovery. Nashville Electric Service received the strongest disapproval, while the mayor and Metro Council also saw noticeable declines. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, Channel 4's Holly Thompson.
We do have a scam alert for you this morning. We know impersonators are going door to door in Manchester. They're claiming to be with the water department to try and get your money. We know the water department is reminding customers they do not go door to door to collect payment. Now, official employees will always be in uniform or shirts with the department logo. Their vehicles have the water department's logo as well. Now, if someone comes to your door pretending to be with the water department, well, police say, hey, get a good look at them, at the car they're in, and then report it. You are asked to call the Coffee County Communications non-emergency line.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Yeah, it's very slow going if you're eastbound 440 over to 24 between 65 and 24. Northbound 65, stop and go trying to get up to the South Loop. Same goes for eastbound South Loop over to 65. Still got a crash showing at Fessler's Lane and Elm Hill Pike, Antioch Pike at Harding Place. And over on the West Loop, 40 westbound at 65, exit 208. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Accurate Mortgage. You know, I knew there was only one mortgage company that I would be utilizing when I purchased my new home, and it was Accurate Mortgage. And I understand you're concerned about rates. They can alleviate those concerns. But here's the bottom line. Rates are what they are, but when it comes to a refinance, perhaps to consolidate some high-interest debt, when it comes to perhaps building onto your home and utilizing equity in your home to do that, or when it comes to buying a new home, if it's time, it's time. And Accurate Mortgage is never going to advise you to do something that doesn't make sense for you financially. Now, even though rates might be a little bit higher than your current mortgage, a cash-out refi is a perfect way to save you money every month by getting rid of some of those higher interest credit card debt. And there are examples after example after example of this, and Accurate Mortgage can lead you through that process. They're your local mortgage leader in Middle Tennessee. Go to Accurate Mortgage's website at AccurateMTG.com and inquire AccurateMTG.com. Tell them I sent you to Accurate Mortgage. Ask for Mike or any of his great team will be able to assist you. Accurate Mortgage in MLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 4:38. Glad to have you with us. A few more minutes with Representative Scott Zapicki, our Thursday roundup of the legislative session. And, I've been asked this on several occasions when you're here, and we talk in depth about education. And, oftentimes I don't get to these questions. But today it seems like we're kind of – you called it a quagmire on education. So I feel like we can discuss some of these other things. The issue of marijuana legalization, I think there are 3 bills that were running. Afton Bain's pot for potholes is going nowhere.
Right.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Right.
But there's a medical marijuana bill that I think is running, and I get the feeling, and you're a lot closer to your colleagues than I am, of course, and so you might be able to speak to this a little better. I get the feeling that if you brought up, a pretty strict medical marijuana piece, that there'd be a fair consideration and fair debate on that bill and a lot of support for it.
So we've talked in the General Assembly about how do we – I've seen the studies for Alzheimer's. I've seen the studies for
Parkinson's and seizures,
terminally ill people, right? That there are huge benefits, right? Now, let's get one thing straight. We're not talking about the marijuana 30 years ago. We're talking about high-grade, high-addictive marijuana right now that is grown in parts of this country to the nth degree of potency.
Yeah, a lot of THC.
So
high content.
It is addictive, folks. The problem we have is, if we make it narrow enough for those things that you and I just spoke of, right, and we know the data supports that it can make life better. The problem we have is once we vote yes on those things, that narrow list, it just takes 50 votes and 17 votes in the Senate and 1 governor to expand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start expanding it for other symptoms and other diseases and other things. And then the other problem you have is, how do we keep from making the pharmaceuticals a king in the billions of dollars? How do we keep it away from kids? And that's nobody long-term has been able to solve those problems. Short-term, we can all agree for Alzheimer's, for Parkinson's, for terminally ill, that it is a good thing for those individuals to have. Very, very prescriptive, and I mean dictated by the legislation and only available through a prescription. But we had the same thing with opioids, Matt. And look what happened with that. It just blew up.
Well, I could potentially make a comparison with what you're saying with regard to medical marijuana to the Education Scholarship Fund.
Okay.
Right? That you open it up, it's a great benefit to individuals that are in need. At the same time, we're not creating, this Wild West scenario where everybody can move so you're limiting it in structural form to give those most in need the ability to do it. I think the benefits far outweigh the potential for any future expansion. And hopefully you guys will consider it. I mean, asked and answered. I mean, would you be supportive? I mean, you would have to see language, I would suppose.
Right. That's a tough question to ask somebody.
Are you supportive of medical marijuana? It's all about the language?
It depends, right? I mean, what's the language look like? I mean, you don't want me to just openly say yes to something, right?
Well, I do, but
no, you don't. No, you don't. You want me to look at the data and logically go through the process to make sure that we don't do something that ends up hurting Tennessee.
Fair.
Right? So it is the words, like on bills, I always tell people the words are important because that's what we all have to live by. And so I think logically we could have a discussion on ailments that could make life better, make end of life more comfortable, make these cancer treatments more tolerable, right? But how do we make sure this thing doesn't get out of hand? Because heaven forbid we start talking about pot for potholes. We need more money, and we don't need any more money in Tennessee, folks. We have enough money.
Well, you're spending a lot of it on this scholarship, so you might need some more money.
I'm trying to make kids better in Tennessee, man.
Well, I know. I get it. Well, I'm trying to make life better for people who are in a way with medical conditions. And look, the danger is you're talking to somebody, and I'm the worst possible person to advocate for medical marijuana.
Yes.
Because I'm fine with recreational marijuana,
yes.
And that's a different subject. And I think the worst thing that you can do if I'm trying to convince a Scott Sapicki that medical marijuana is the way to go is to talk to somebody that would be advocating for all of it, because it goes to your point that the concern that some have that would be in favor of medical but not recreational is that once you do one, the other's on the way.
Yeah, nose under the camel's tent.
Sure. And that's fair. That's a fair argument to make. How much does the General Assembly pay attention to party politicking? And the reason I ask is because one of my listeners said you need to ask Sapicki about the conversation you had the other day regarding Scott Golden, Tennessee GOP, and some of the exclusions on the ballot. It just feels, I mean, look, I get it. I mean, I said from the beginning when I had the discussion, I kind of got on a rant. Mm-hmm. It's not my party. I didn't organize the party. It's not my club. It's not, so I don't really have any say about what the rules are.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's just weird the way that there's almost a lack of communication as to why people are getting kicked off and these sorts of things.
I'm a bad guy to ask on that because I follow the rules, right? I am a Republican. I study the platform. I adhere to the platform. I vote for the platform. It aggravates me when Republicans don't follow the platform. It aggravates me, right? Mm-hmm. I don't contribute to known Democrats. I don't do it. Right?
Well, I mean, that's an easy one, right? The Cape Cawthorn thing. Right. I mean, that's easy.
I vote in all the primaries. My dad was a World War II veteran. The one thing he instilled in me was you have an obligation to go vote because people have died for you to get the opportunity and the right to be able to vote. So I don't miss elections. When someone says, well, I was on vacation, that doesn't compute with me, Matt. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that there's people that get kicked off the ballot all the time. The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, it is a club of rules.
But it feels like, and I can't get Golden to come on. We communicated via text, and he said he was advised by his attorneys not to speak on this right now because there are appeals and whatever. Well, that's hiding. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I mean, you got to be careful.
Well, it seems that people are being kicked off the ballot for what they say.
Yeah,
And are we really? I mean, is that the message we want to send to Tennessee? Is hey, the Republican Party is for you unless you have a disagreement with a fellow Republican, and if you have a disagreement with a fellow Republican, watch out because we'll kick you out of the club.
Well, we should be able in our fraternity, our sorority club, right? Our club, our party, we should be able to disagree with each other because that's how bylaws. That's how. The policies of the party change over time, right?
Yeah, that's how you change the rules.
Is we have disagreements and we come to a mutual understanding of, you know what, maybe we need to tweak this here and tweak this there. I think we got to be careful. And I'm a Republican, there is a target-rich environment on the Democrat side for me to go after. The Democrats in Tennessee over the last 4 weeks have argued against the 10 Commandments, argued for communism, argued against dads having an important part in families, right? And it just goes on and on.
But the Democrats don't matter. But let's be honest, they don't matter.
What I want to do is I want to make sure we put Tennessee in the best place possible. That's my concern.
Are you concerned that you are encouraging the growth of a third party in the state of Tennessee by being so? I mean, it just feels. I know this isn't you, but you're a great friend of the show, so we can bat this back and forth. It feels like they're being very exclusionary in terms of their language. I mean, for example, Stuart Parks. Stuart Parks went to prison for Donald Trump.
Correct.
And he missed a primary while he was in prison.
Correct.
And so he was excluded from the ballot. And it was on an executive committee post where he had no opposition. He was the only name on it. Guess who gets to a point? The same guy that booted him off, Scott Golden. That feels skeevy as hell, Scott. I mean, it just feels weird.
It doesn't. It's the problem. The hardest thing. People who do my job in the General Assembly, right? The hardest thing is don't get hung up on a very unique argument. I look at generally how do things work because we can always come up with the outlier, right? This guy got arrested on January 6th defending our republic, right? And he was in prison. Okay, there should be a way for him to find 3 people to, according to the rules.
But they don't tell you why you got excluded. That I mean, and I know I'm arguing with the wrong person.
I mean, he would know. I mean, you would know.
No, they don't tell you. They send you a letter saying you got kicked off. You have this many days to appeal. They do not tell you. You're told you have to call Scott Golden.
Right.
And guess who doesn't answer his phone?
Well, that's maybe an issue. What we need to have with Mr. Golden is get call
That's
waiting.
fair. That's fair.
Or get a voicemail.
That's fair. Do you think now back to a policy that you can impact in the General Assembly?
Yes.
Do you think that considering that the Democrat, there's so few,
yes,
and we're obviously a red state, do you think Alabama is voting right now in their legislature on closing the primaries?
Yes.
Do you think that's coming for Tennessee?
I hope. I really do hope. I think it's got an uphill battle right now in the subcommittee section and the committees. You got to argue it through sometimes, and you got to just grit your teeth, Matt, and push through. And I think it's time. We've been talking about this long enough. I'm a yes vote. I believe in the party. I believe in Republican principles. I believe that we're driving this country and this state forward. And I want more people who understand what we're trying to do. And I didn't say believe, did I? Understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're going to disagree on the nuances of some things in the platform. That's how you change platforms. But in general, you cannot argue with the success we've had under Republican leadership in the state of Tennessee.
See, and you know, I'm on record as saying, you know me, I'm fiercely independent, and that I would no longer – I vote in the Republican primary. But if you close the primary, I wouldn't.
Well, sure you could.
Well, no, I would not. I wouldn't
declare as a Republican.
I would not declare as a Republican.
Okay.
But I would choose – that's my choice.
Right.
But what I would also immediately argue, and I would encourage lawsuits to open up third-party access so that we could create additional political parties in the state of Tennessee and give them equal footing and equal standing, because right now you got – I mean, you know, you got three options, right?
Yeah.
R, D, or I.
Which are all valid.
Well,
true.
I mean, you know,
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
They're all valid.
Sure. I mean, you kind of give, you know,
I mean, think about it. As
the poor libertarians.
If you believe in true freedom, right, that you're not beholden to an R and not beholden to a D, you'd run as an I, because then you get to legislate the way you want to.
Well, I mean,
and you're not beholden to a platform.
The Founding Fathers disagreed with you, but that's okay. I mean, they had the Federalists, and they had the Whigs.
Well, you know, I mean, they all had their issues back then, right?
Look, you're always a pleasure to talk to, and
are you enjoying Mount Pleasant?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on,
pretty cool, isn't it?
I mean, it's a great town.
Pretty cool.
It's a great little.
What's your favorite restaurant down
I'm
there?
enjoying. You know, it's hard to beat the Mount Pleasant Grill, although you know, pizza place is good. I tell you, I went to Schaefer's. Have you ever been to Schaefer's?
Of course.
Oh, come on.
That's where I buy my steaks.
Lord, oh yeah, no, that's where we're buying meat. I mean, no, we discovered the meat counter, and that it's over.
Schaefer's in Summertown, right?
Oh yeah, beautiful community out there. I mean, yeah, and I'm told I got to go to the farm out there in Summertown. Have you ever been to the farm?
Yes.
Are they're good people over there, right?
You go down into Etheridge, and they have a produce market by the Amish people, the Mennonites down there, and you go in there and you get like 50 ears of corn for $5.
Yeah, I like it.
You know, so.
That's what I'm talking about. No, I like that Columbia is the big city now.
Yes, it is.
I mean, well,
it's the big city.
You know, if you live in Mount Pleasant,
we got a Whataburger.
Yes, you do.
We got a Whataburger.
I think are they building one? They're building one on 50, right?
No, well, it's 50. It's James Campbell Boulevard.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. That is that the one you're talking about? That they're building?
And then a Panda Express right next to it. We have arrived. We also have a.
We just need to get a Publix.
Well, we do. It's in Spring Hill.
Get
out of Mount Pleasant, would you?
Dude, that's north. I need something. Come up. Give me some on the south side.
Go up to Santa Fe. Hey, you know what? We have Wounded Warriors in the fall. We'll have to get you out there for Wounded Warriors. It is an awesome event to see them come into Santa Fe.
We drove through Santa Fe. We went over to Hampshire.
Saying it right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. And even, you know, the wife all her people are from New Mexico, so that's difficult. But that's tough. But we figured it out. But, you know, Hampshire and, you know,
Williamsport, Santa Fe,
Lawrenceburg, Laredo. I mean, Summertown. I mean, you will not find more beautiful country than right there.
You bet.
On that, Sapicki, we agree.
Have a great weekend.
There's Scott Sapicki. Thank you much. It's 52 after the hour. Super Talk. What's going on, friends? It's Matt Murphy. Efficient heating and cooling is simply your choice for heating and air conditioning repair and for replacement. And I got to tell you, Jeff Eddy and his team, they do it the right way. I am a testimony to it. And I encourage you, if you have any issues, call Efficient Heating and Cooling. They don't charge you overtime rates on nights or weekends because they don't believe in it. They're going to try to fix what ails your system. And they encourage maintenance right now, and it is maintenance season. They're doing a lot of this, but they can always do a little bit more. And you call them, they'll get out jiffy quick. They'll figure out what's going on with your system. They'll get it maintenanced up for less than $125. In most cases, considerably less, never over $125, no matter how many units you might have. And if it's time, there's always a life cycle here. If it's time, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can recommend the right unit for you and your family. They did with my family. I could not be more pleased. EfficientHVAC.net, EfficientHVAC.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Jeff Eddy. If the AC's not ready, call Jeff Eddy and Efficient.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump says he's pausing bombing Iran's big energy plant for 10 days because talks are, quote, going very well. That's what he posted to Truth Social. Meanwhile, Israel says they've killed the commander of the Iranian Navy who was in charge of orchestrating the plan to close the Hormuz Strait. But ABC News contributor and former Defense Department official, retired Colonel Steve Ganyard, says it may not stop Iran's military operation there.
He's the guy that was working on closing the strait. He's the operational commander. It helps that he's gone. It helps that the intelligence head was also gone. But it doesn't really change the negotiations much, other than it puts pressure on the Iranians to say, like, if we lose control, if we lose military control of the straits, that gives the U.S. an opportunity to come in with military force.
And even though Iran says there were no talks, Egypt says it's conveying messages between the U.S. and Iran. Nashville residents significantly less confident in their city's leadership after the historic ice storm, according to a new Vanderbilt University survey. The poll shows approval ratings for the mayor and Metro Council falling, while Nashville Electric Service faces widespread criticism for its handling of power restoration. Researchers say the storm disrupted a decade of growing optimism about Nashville's future. Meanwhile, NES CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin admitted they failed in 3 phases of communication with customers, including the $500,000 spent for an outage map that provided outdated information.
The outage map struggled under storm scale load and mostly with outage reporting through the outage map.
NES says it has upgraded the outage map and texting system and hired a public information officer to respond to reporters' questions. Meanwhile, the new Vanderbilt University poll shows strong public support for license plate reader technology in Davidson County. More than 80% of respondents said they support police use of the cameras to help solve violent crimes, track stolen vehicles, and find missing people. City leaders acknowledge that support, but disagree on whether protections and strict limitations on how that data is used are currently strong enough to justify deployment. Entertainment news. Summer Breeze singer Dash Crofts has passed away from complications of a heart surgery. Dash, his real name Daryl Crofts, was half of Seals and Crofts, along with Jim Seals, who died in 2022. And reports say Crofts spent part of his later life right here in Nashville. Passed away at the age of 85. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes getting in the way over on the East Bank 24 westbound at James Robertson. On the South Loop 40 eastbound, they're at the downtown split. One of the biggest problems right now is going to be a crash on Old Hickory Boulevard just east of Lakeshore Drive. That is backing up both directions of OHB by a lot. Other crashes, Fessler's Lane at Elm Hill Pike, Gallatin Pike, just south of Neely's Bend Road. In Smyrna, we've got a report of debris in the left lane, 24 eastbound at Sam Ridley. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time has flown. We're already 2 hours down, 2 to go. Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN can be found on a variety of platforms to include the radio station and the radio signal, 99.7 FM. You can also find us on TuneIn, iHeart, Spotify. We have our own app. Download our app and take us wherever you'd like to go. Go to Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Do it that way. You can go to 997WTN.com on your web browser. And you can also find us at Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B, gathering headlines yet again. He'll deliver them. After delivering them just moments ago, he'll do so in less than a half an hour. We got Jackson Williams back behind the glass, making sure that your calls come through. And we'll get to some of those telephone calls coming up in just a moment on Super Talk. A lot to get into. Thanks to Sapicki, thanks to Eva Romero, our two guests, and we're guest-free for the duration of the day, so you on the phones will be of the utmost focus on the Matt Murphy Show. And we've got a lot of subject matter to include. No dudes in female Olympic sports. That's a hot take by the IOC, but it's one that they made today. The International Olympic Committee has now changed their policies to say that it will limit eligibility in women's events to biological females based on genetic screening. How about that? That's great news. Begins in the 2028 games. Transgender women athletes are now excluded from the – well, no, they're not. This is coming from NBC News. I'm reading the story, and you got to pre-read these things, and you have to understand the bias of the manner in which they – handle the language, right?
Excluded.
Transgender women athletes are now excluded from the Olympics. No, they're not. You just compete in the arena of your biological sex. If you're born a man, you compete in the men's division. If you're born a woman, you compete in the women's division. You're not excluded. If you are born male, you are considered to be male according to your biological markers. It's as easy as that. Excluded. Transgender women athletes, I'll just read from the story, are now excluded from the Olympics after the IOC agreed to a new eligibility policy on Thursday, which aligns with President Donald J. Trump's executive order on women's sports ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Games. Eligibility for any female category event at the Olympic Games or any other IOC event, including individual and team sports, is now limited to biological females, determined on the basis of a one-time SRY gene screening. The story goes on to say it's unclear how many, if any, transgender women are competing at the Olympic level. No woman assigned male at birth competed in the 2024 Paris Summer Games. Wait a minute. All right, this whole assigned male at birth, such garbage language from a garbage company like NBC. You're not assigned anything. You're born a man or you're born a woman. And I understand that there are hermaphrodites that are born with a little bit of both. And I mean, we understand that there are genetic abnormalities. We're not talking about those abnormalities right now. There are two genders, male and female. You are born one of those two, unless you are atypical. You are not assigned. No one assigns anything to you. No one randomly decides, oh, I think Jackson, oh, look, it's a bouncing baby what? Oh, let's call him a female because, we just decided. What about all those parts dang? Well, whatever. Female, we assigned it. Nah, it's not how it works. The eligibility policy that will apply from the LA Olympics in July of 2028, quote, protects fairness, safety, and integrity in the female category. Well, of course it does. But this is the thing. I thought no woman assigned male at birth competed at the Paris Olympic Games. Wasn't there a dude boxer that, cleaned up? I thought I remembered that from the 2024 Paris Olympics. There was a guy that claimed to be a woman that said his genetic marker was different or whatever, that he was allowed to compete in the female category, and he eventually won gold. Am I remembering this wrong? I don't think I am. So I can't trust the story that I'm reading from. After an executive board meeting, the International Olympic Committee published a 10-page policy document that restricts female athletes, such as two-time Olympic champion runner Caster Semenya, blah, 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 with medical conditions known as differences in sex development. IOC and its president, Christy Coventry, have wanted a clear policy instead of trying to advise sports governing bodies who have previously drafted their own rules. Here's the thing. There will be a minuscule portion of the population impacted by this decision. Minuscule portion of the population. And I'd be willing to accept transgender categories in any sporting endeavors that you want to engage in. But you don't hear a lot of this going the other way, right? And that is entirely the point. You don't hear about a lot of females who were born female who then decided they wanted to be guys and they take testosterone and the like, competing in the men's category. Now, I'm certain that this happens from time to time, that a female decides they want to be a dude and they want to compete with the guys in male sporting endeavors, but they do not get to the highest level of their individual sports typically, because typically men have more physical strength, stamina, and ability than the typical female. That is not to say that certain men could not come into this studio and just beat viciously about the head and shoulders young Jackson Williams. Obviously, there are plenty of women that could beat up Jackson. Plenty. But that's not what we're talking about here. Thank you, Ken. See, Jackson is choosing not to participate because I used him as an example. But it's true. There are plenty of women in this community that could bench press Ken Weaver.
Oh, yes. And probably beat me up.
And probably beat Ken Weaver. Heck, there's plenty of people that can beat Matt Murphy up. And plenty of women that can do it. But that's not the point. We're talking about individuals at the highest echelon of their particular sporting endeavors. And ladies, there are plenty of things that you do better than men. Plenty of things that you do better than men. There's no question about it. I could name a few of those things, but I fear that it might get me into a spot of trouble. So I'm gonna choose to be a little wiser in how I use my language. If there were... No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to say something about laundry, but I'm not going to do it. No, Ken. What did you say? Laundry? Men have different biologies than women. There's nothing wrong in saying it. And I'm thankful that the IOC, at the urging of our current president, Donald Trump, recognized this. And recognized that, unfortunately, the more you allow biological males into female sports. I think one of my favorite statistics about this, Jackson, fact check me on something, would you? The current women's record holder in the 100-meter dash, I want to say that is FloJo. It's one of the longest standing track and field records in women's athletics. I want to say it was 1984 or 1988, but I think it was Florence.
88.
Is it FloJo, Florence Joyner Kersey? What was her? Did you in what you looked up? Does it show you her time?
10.49 seconds.
10.49 seconds. Jackson, would you care to guess the number of high school age males that beat her time in 2024?
100.
74. High school males. Now, you could argue that that's an extreme example, but it is the example that I would give you, that there are certain things that men do differently than women. They are faster, stronger in certain aspects. Women do things differently and better than some men. I would love to see men compete on the old balance beam. Wouldn't you? I mean, man, oh man. Let me tell you something. Some unique dangers on that balance beam there, Weaver. You don't want to let the beam hit you where the good Lord split you. You know what I mean? Might be a little damaging to the twig and berries, or the floor exercise for that matter. That would be certainly different. Or that the uneven, not the parallel bars. The dudes do the parallel bars. What is it? The uneven bars. Or the women do all of that bouncing around. Point is this. This is a positive step forward in terms of athletics. I feel like we've turned the corner on this issue. We are not going to allow a minuscule portion of the population to change the entirety of our social order for their own purposes. Look, if you're legitimately gender dysphoric, I feel for you. But if you're legitimately gender dysphoric and you also want to compete in athletics, you have to understand that athletic competitions aren't set up for you anymore. You just have to understand that. If you're blind, we don't set up our roadways where you get to drive. We just don't. And you have to understand that too. Oh my gosh. I'm just looking over at the super text line.
Yeah.
The first thing I saw is women are better at making sandwiches. Y'all, I didn't say that. 7786 said that. I didn't say that. Although I don't necessarily disagree with it. Let's talk to Jeff, who's in the borough, who's been around for a hot minute. Jeff, I appreciate your patience. What's going on, my friend?
Well, I just wanted to tell you, I've been wanting to tell you this for about 45 minutes, but Saturday, it's going to be on MTSU's campus at the Livestock Center. I don't know where that's at. It's going to be the annual Oreo Festival Saturday from 10 to 4. So come down and get all your Oreos, get your Oreo necklace, whatever you want to get. So I know, like you said, you went last year and wanted to. So I just want to let people know they can come down and get everything Oreo on Saturday if they want to. It's the second year, everything's free, parking's free, and admission's free.
It's in Murfreesboro?
Yeah, it's on the MTSU campus, the Livestock Center. It starts at 10 o'clock in the mornings from 10 to 4.
The second annual Oreo Festival in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, this Saturday, March 28th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
4 p.m., yeah.
Huh.
So I told you a little bit about it last time. You got a chance to come, but it's the second one. I can't remember where they had it last year, but they're going to have it on MTSU's campus. Like I said, everything's free, parking's free, admission's free. So just come on and,
How did we?
Is there going to be plenty of milk for Brother Murphy to drink?
I don't know anything like that, but I don't think I need any milk there.
I see you in there.
She's dirty, though, so
I see you in there. Is there any?
Say chocolate milk, white milk, some ice cream. If you want some ice cream.
Well, I mean, I might do a little ice cream. That's different, but not a big fan of the milk, Jeff.
And I was going to say one thing, Mr. Murphy, you cannot westernize Iran. They're a theocracy.
No, that
years, and you can't do it.
That's a toughie.
It's going to fail like the rest of them. You can't westernize a nation.
Jeff, I might be asking the wrong person this question, but maybe why was Murfreesboro bestowed with the honor of hosting the Oreo Festival? Were they just the first one to think about it?
I believe so. I think there's an events person that does events. He does different events around town. I think that's one thing. I know the barbecue festival is going to be in May. It's at Hop Springs, the Borough Barbecue Festival.
I love that Hop Springs.
Hop Springs.
Yeah, I mean, I could go for some Oreos and a cold beer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can oblige you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. So at the MTSU Livestock Center, thank you, Jeff, for the call and the info. Ken, that's right in your neck of the woods, brother.
It sure is.
You like that milk there, Ken?
Dude, I'll put an entire sleeve of Oreos in a glass and pour milk right over them.
I know you would.
I'll drink them.
I know you would. The second annual Oreo Festival, this is the best news I've heard in a long time, is back in Murfreesboro. They say it's bigger, sweeter, and more delicious than ever. Saturday, March 28th, this year from 10 until 4. The event is inside the MTSU Livestock Center, indoors, so you don't have to worry about the weather. Free parking, free admission. And Jeff said as much, but I'll just repeat it. Get ready for a full day packed with Oreo-inspired treats, desserts, drinks, and family fun that will have your taste buds cheering. From the classics you love to new wild Oreo creations, this is the ultimate celebration for cookie lovers of all ages. Oreo dessert vendors and food trucks, games and activities for the whole family. I bet you there'll be somebody dressed up like an Oreo. I bet you there will be.
You know there will be.
You know there's going to be several people in Oreo cookie costumes.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars, grab your crew, bring your sweet tooth. Murfreesboro's about to get a whole lot sweeter. How about that? That just sounds...
There might even be somebody dressed up like a bottle of milk.
Yeah. Yuck. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. I don't... You know, did I say this? Did I say this? I don't know if I said this on the radio.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Remember, Charlie Hatcher was in. And he brought us milk.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. And he seemed really nice and seemed very well positioned to, rising tide lifts all boats. And he's going to take on Andy Ogles in the Republican primary and may the best man win. But he's the Hatcher Farms and the dairy makes milk. And he brought chocolate milk in for us.
Yeah.
And it has been told to me far and wide that Hatcher makes better chocolate milk than anyone on planet Earth. And Jackson, you confirmed that.
Yeah, that was great.
You know what it confirmed for me? And this is the part that I don't think I've admitted. I don't like chocolate milk either. I was trying to remember the last time I drank chocolate milk, and I honestly couldn't remember. And I had it, and it was fine. I mean, it was chocolatey, so it wasn't nasty like regular milk. But I don't think I like chocolate milk. I just don't like milk. You know what milk is for? Baby cows. And for all of you calcium people out there, I'll get my calcium elsewhere. Thank you. I can take a pill.
You can take calcium in the pill form.
There you go, Ken. That's what I'm talking. And you know what? If I drink less milk, it's more for you. Y'all can suck it straight from the teat for all I care. I don't care.
That'd be a good Ninkham Poops in the news story. Somebody arrested.
I'm telling you, a president of the United States died because of hot milk. Which one was it? Taylor? It was one of them. He got sick. He was eating cherries and drinking warm milk before it was pasteurized. I mean, would y'all drink milk hot? No. Why not? That's the way it comes.
Because I like a cold glass of milk.
Uh-huh. It comes hot.
Now there's warm milk. Remember, that seemed like a thing back in the Leave It to Beaver days.
Oh, yeah.
You get you a glass of warm milk before bed.
Well, yeah, why do they give them warm milk before bed?
I don't know, because you're just going to get up and have to go to the bathroom.
Well, I mean, is that supposed to settle your stomach? That would make me throw up.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why they do.
If y'all know why they do warm milk, let us know. It's 24 after the hour. Connie, hang in there. I'm getting to you moments from now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Somebody on the super text line just called me a commie B word. They called me a commie, and then a child born without a daddy.
Goodness.
Well, that's strong language because I don't like milk. I don't know what I think about all that. I do know what I think about this. Friends, the Glock store is your one-stop shop for all things Glocks. And I want you to mark the calendar for May 30th because their open house is coming. It is a huge event. Raffles galore. I mean, they give away a lot of things during this open house. I mean, I think it's like every 15 minutes. I mean, it's more than once an hour. I mean, they're giving away some serious swag at the Glock store to include. They always give away Glocks. I'm telling you, they do. And you need to mark your calendar. I know I'll be there. I hope that you're there as well. I think Chris Hand and Dan Mandis will be there too. But you need to get out to the Glock store before the big open house in May because we want to see you at the Shoot 270 shooting rooms, Never Lanes shooting rooms. Ask about the force-on-force simunition exercises that we recently did. Loads of fun. You can find out those videos on the Glock store's website. See the retail shop, tour the manufacturing division. It's all right there on Airlane Drive. They are available to you. People shop the Glock store's website nationwide because they have the greatest prices. They have the best selection, every Glock in stock. And we've got them right in our backyard, near the airport, convenient to anywhere, just off of Elm Hill Pike on Airlane Drive. Tell them I sent you to the one and only Glock store.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And speaking of traffic, News 2 has gotten to the bottom of what is going on over there on Old Hickory Boulevard at Lakeshore Drive. Right now, both directions of OHB shut down. This is going to be between Lakeshore Drive and Chute Lane. News 2 says first responders are there on the scene of a crash that involves a Nashville Fire Department engine. It happened shortly before 4:15, according to News 2. Apparently, the preliminary information indicates that the firefighter driving the engine experienced a medical episode, lost control, hit several telephone poles, parked cars, and eventually a building. That firefighter brought to a local hospital for evaluation. 2 people were injured while they tried to move out of the way, but the Nashville Fire Department says they declined transportation there at the scene, so that's good news. Apparently, they were not hurt. News 2 is reporting again that this was a crash involving a fire department engine. The firefighter driving it having some sort of a medical emergency, and that's why you have Old Hickory Boulevard at both directions shut down there between Lakeshore Drive and Chute Lane. That truck really going amok, hitting some power lines and then a building. Operation Epic Fury, bombing Iran's biggest energy plant on pause again. President Trump on Truth Social says he is giving Iran 10 more days because talks are, quote, going very well. There have been other questions about U.S. troop levels in the region. This as the 82nd Airborne Division gets ready to be deployed. ABC News contributor, former Defense Department official, retired Colonel Steve Ganyard says that option to put more troops in the region is an option available to the president.
If the U.S. did put boats on the ground, it would be exponentially more risky for U.S. forces than it is right now. But they would have 24/7 on-call air cover, and they would no doubt have lots of prep of the battlefield of where they might land before they actually land.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Again, crashes in the way. 40 westbound now at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway there in Sylvan Park. On the South Loop, a crash going westbound right before the downtown split. That's going to be exit 211 AB. And Hermitage a wreck, Lebanon Pike, just west of Jackson Downs Boulevard. And then Whites Creek Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard there in Whites Creek. And then, as I mentioned, TDOT cameras, TDOT maps still showing Old Hickory Boulevard is shut down both directions between Lakeshore Drive and Chute Lane in Old Hickory. This is because a firefighter had a medical emergency while he was driving an engine, and it crashed into some power lines and a building, and 2 people had to rush to get out of the way there because of that accident. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Eurofix. You know, Eurofix for the last 26 years has helped people just like you get back on the road with your European automobile, and they don't do it the typical way. Their waiting rooms are clean, comfortable, and inviting. Their service areas are spotless. They are not, repeat, not your typical greasy garage. They never have been. They care about everything from how you're treated to how your vehicle is treated. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs that Eurofix performs, and at below dealer pricing. You do not have to put up with dealer prices. You do not need to get ghosted when you call about a repair. You get a call back at Eurofix. They repair everything European, plus you get a rental car available with every appointment. They have locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. Call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or go online to myEurofix.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to myEurofix.com or 844-EUROFIX. All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Quick call and Ninkham Poops on the way afterwards. Hey, it's Jackson. You gonna go see the Preds?
I'm good.
I mean, not tonight. Maybe some other time?
Yeah, maybe.
You don't want to go tonight?
No.
Me either. It's Pride Night at the Preds. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm genuinely confused why we still have Pride Night. And this has nothing, I am not against people because of their preferred sexual choice, whatever. This is not an anti-homosexual screed. But I don't understand why y'all still have Pride. Y'all won, right? I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know who would care? The gay people. If just one Christian player on the Preds team said they didn't want to wear these jerseys. One Christian player says, you know what? This is kind of going against my Christian beliefs. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Connie is in Cookeville, and Connie joins us right now before Ninkham Poops. Hey, Connie, how are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm well. Thank you, sir. Listen, I'm calling because of the gentleman that was on earlier. I think you all indicated he was from Columbia area.
Yes, ma'am. Representative Sapicki from Murray County.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said it. I did not catch his name, but I want you to know, and him, I totally agree with him. And I've worked with the party for a few years, and the rule about voting in at least 3 of the last 4 statewide primaries has been in the bylaws forever. Before this year, they could actually request that somebody vouch for them and still run. And they changed it this year. But he's correct that so many people do certainly not vote. And even people who wanted to run, and to my knowledge, at least the people I know, they have told them the reason that they were going to be removed from the ballot was the fact that they did not meet bona fide by not having voted 3 of the last 4 statewide.
I've seen several, I don't mean to interrupt you, Miss Connie, but I've seen several people's paperwork that were denied ballot access, and they do indicate that you have been found not to be bona fide, but they don't indicate it's because of primary voting. It just says you've been found not to be bona fide, at least the paperwork
the thing
that I've
about
seen.
it is, like the gentleman spoke earlier and said he reads the platform and the bylaws, so many of them do not, Matt, but profess to be whichever party, never having even read what they stand for. Because if they had read them, it's in there, what bona fide means. We discussed it numerous times at our meetings. It has been...
Are you a part of the SEC?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. I was just... You said the meeting, so I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking party meetings.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think...
And tell me about the little guy that was in prison. He missed 1 primary, I understood you to say.
Stuart Parks.
I don't know how long he was in, and it's horrible that he was, but...
Yeah, he was a political prisoner. Joe Biden's Department of Justice prosecuted him for being present on January 6th.
I hear you.
In Washington, D.C.
And how long was he in prison?
8 months.
Okay. I only asked because it's 3 out of the last 4 statewide, and they normally accept presidential preference primary fall in August. So missing one shouldn't have kicked him off.
So,
and I say that because we've had people want to run, and they'll tell you, I had surgery and missed the primary. But when you look, they've missed all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I know you know this, and everybody has their right to their opinion, and I certainly agree with that. But it isn't always what you're hearing unless you actually seen what has occurred, and I know you're smart enough to know that.
Well, I'm also smart enough to know that Scott Golden and some on the state executive committee are picking and choosing who they think are desirable candidates and who are not, and I believe that with all of my heart. And I'll give you a specific example, Connie. Debbie Matthews is a specific example. She votes and I know she's a friend, and so it's a little personal with me with her. But I give you that example because she votes in all the Republican primaries. She was the head of the Murray County Republican Party. She was on the city council, I guess it was, in Columbia. She's been a lifelong Republican, and she was told that she was not allowed to run as an executive committee member, and she was not told why. And she appealed, and her appeal was denied, and she was not told why. When she questioned it, she was told that she had to get the specific explanation from Scott Golden, and Scott Golden doesn't answer his phone, Connie.
Are you talking about because they told her it was because she's an SEC member?
No, they didn't tell her why she was. They didn't tell her why she was considered not to be bona fide. They have not explained any of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, I'll give you another example. There's a woman by the name of Rebecca Ann in Sumner County. Same deal. She's running to be on the executive committee, and she was excluded and was not. And according to her, I don't know this woman, but according to her, she was not told the reason why, and she was told if she wanted to find out the specifics why she was excluded from the ballot, that she would need to talk to Scott Golden. You call Scott Golden doesn't answer his phone, and Scott Golden doesn't call people back.
Huh. Well, that's really odd if that's truly happening. I hadn't heard that before.
Well, and look, Ms. It's not, once again, it is Scott Spicky described it as a fraternity, and I mean, it's a club. It is, they make the rules, and I'm not a part of it, and I'm just observing. I just feel like there could be a more inclusive way to welcome people into the Republican Party in the state of Tennessee than this. That's kind of just my take on it.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't disagree with that, and I know that young folks who have not voted because of they're young, they certainly do get waved in on some of those things, like even in young Republicans. People who move here from out of state because they haven't been able to vote in Tennessee certainly are told, and I've helped a couple get their voting record from their previous location to show that they have voted and bona fide, that kind of thing.
What are your thoughts on these fees?
On the what? I'm sorry.
Are you familiar with the fees that you have to pay?
They went into effect about 4 years ago, I guess.
And it's my understanding, or at least, and I was just told this, that they don't know the fees that you have to pay on the ballot. This is someone who's in a position of authority in a county. I won't name him because I haven't asked if I could. No one tells you about the fees. No one officially tells you that you have to pay the fees. If you don't know that you have to pay the fees, then you're excluded from the ballot. And I was told by someone that
I hear you. And again, what I would say to that, and I'm sincere, I've truly worked all my life, 50-something years. I've never heard of anybody submit an application for employment not knowing what they were going to be doing, or not knowing whether or not they had the qualifications to be considered on that job application. And to me, it's kind of the same thing, and especially with the rules and the fact that we say we are the law and order party. So at least for me, like the gentleman, how did you pronounce his name from Columbia?
Sapicki, Scott Sapicki.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As he said to me, if you were going to tout that we're law and order party, we should go by our rules. And again, those fees are in the bylaws and have been.
Once again,
yeah, I hear you, what you're saying. And I realize some people may not know there's bylaws, but you'd think seriously in my head, if you're going to run for office, you'd learn all about who it is you're saying you want to be with.
Well, I mean, yeah, just know. I mean, I know I'm biased and I'm being snarky here, Connie, but you know, if you want to run as a Republican, you gotta pay the honorarium to the higher ups. Better pay that.
You have to, those fees have a purpose, I'm sure. But yes, sir, they have been.
Their purpose is power and control, in my opinion. But hey, Connie, thank you for the call. I appreciate you, and I've got to scoot. But I appreciate the discussion. I understand your position on it, and I'm thankful that you gave us a call and expressed your opinion. It's 46 after the hour. My goodness gracious! Look who's here! It's Jackson Williams. It's Ninkham Poops. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's time for your favorite segment of the show. It's Ninkham Poops of the News. It's an opportunity for Matt Murphy, for Ken Weaver, for Jackson Williams to look all across this great state of Tennessee, these United States of America, the globe, and find these nincompoops where they live and where they breathe, present them to you. You get to vote. Sadly, Ken, I am here to inform you that Jackson won yesterday. I said it.
Son of a biscuit eater.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Ken. I don't know. It's a juggernaut. You know, I knew that Jackson won yesterday, Ken, when about right around 6, you were just finishing up the 6:30 news.
Yeah.
And Jackson said, hey, Matt, you going to tell everybody who won? And I'm like, oh, boy. And I'm like, well, and then so I looked on the super text line and said, you need to count the votes. And so I looked on the super text line and I said, oh, look, Jackson, I won. No, you didn't. I won. And I'm like, well, then why are you telling me? He said, because I accuse him of cheating, which I do. Jackson, you've won. You get to pick the order. What's your order, sir?
We're going Murphy, Weaver, Williams.
Murphy, Weaver, Williams. Well, then I'll go first. Alleged drunk driver plows vehicle into a locked gate at a Florida airport and tries to board an occupied plane.
Son of a biscuit eater.
I guess that means I got Ken's story.
Good thing I've got two.
Brian Parker was charged with attempted aircraft piracy, burglary of a conveyance, felony trespass, indecent exposure, criminal mischief, DUI with damage, and refusal to submit to DUI testing. Here's the details. A man accused of being a drunk driver plowed his car through a gate at a Florida airport and briefly boarded a plane before he was detained. Body camera. Hey, what's up? Can I get an onboard beverage? And
y'all got any peanuts?
I'm going to need a seat extender. Thank you. Body camera footage released by the Volusia Sheriff's Office showed deputies speaking with the man, identified as Brian Parker, at the Daytona Beach International Airport. The deputy asked, quote, "What's the deal, man?" Parker, handcuffed and seated on the ground, said, "I don't remember." In the video, Parker told the deputies he had been at home before he attended an he attended an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. He admitted that he drank alcohol and used drugs before he attended the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
Goodness.
He then said, "I crashed my car." The sheriff's office said he was notified around 4:23 Wednesday that a blue Ford Mustang had crashed through a locked gate at the airport. Airport personnel said the car drove through the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University section of the airport. A sheriff's office sheriff's department said witnesses said he entered the taxiway and nearly struck a plane. Airport said in a statement that the driver drove to the secondary runway, not the main runway. According to the sheriff's office, he got out of his car and tried to enter an occupied plane, was unsuccessful. He then allegedly approached two other unoccupied planes and briefly got inside. Ran to the other aircraft in the area. The airport operation technician chased him down, pulled him out of the plane. Parker, 58, was booked in the Volusia County Branch Jail on charges of attempted aircraft piracy, burglary of a conveyance, felony trespass, indecent exposure, criminal mischief, DUI with damage. So here's my question. I have no idea why they charged him with indecent exposure, but at some point it must have felt so nice out that he left it out. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, NBC was just showing some video of it. It shows him running down the runway and trying to get into one of the planes. He's got clothes on.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the indecent exposure comes from.
Maybe
his shorts came down or something.
Maybe he decided that he wanted to moon everybody.
It might have been.
Just a big old full moon there, right in the window of the airplane.
Might have been.
There you go, Jackson. Who was next?
That would be Ken Weaver.
Ken.
Oh, no, that's the one Murphy just did. Man jailed for allegedly vandalizing gravestones with swords and a club with a deer antler on the end. A man was arrested Tuesday after police say he damaged multiple headstones while armed with swords and a weird club at a Kinston, North Carolina cemetery.
Ooh.
Officers with the Kinston Police Department responded on March 24th to Maplewood Cemetery on South Queen Street after reports of a masked individual damaging graves. When officers arrived, they say they found 34-year-old Bobby Jackson actively damaging headstones. Bobby, get away from that headstone. Police said Jackson was armed with 2 swords and a weird club with a deer antler on it. He initially refused commands to drop the weapons before complying when additional officers arrived. Jackson was taken into custody without further incident, transported to the Lenoir County Jail, and charged with a bunch of crimes.
Man, dang it, Bobby. That boy ain't right.
Bobby, get away from those cemetery stones.
Propane and propane accessories. Jackson?
Are you guys ready?
Yes, Jackson. We're ready. That was a weak horn. Where's the horn fella? Is that in the parking lot?
Smoke break.
Yeah, There he is.
He's back.
There he goes.
You can hear the the little cigarette smoke in his lungs.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear ye. My Ninkham Poop has arrived.
Oh, well.
Do you think I'm that stupid? Wayne County judge berates women joining court while driving. And I have audio.
Audio?
You cannot be driving, ma'am. What are you doing? Come on.
I'm not driving. I'm a passenger in a car.
You're still not. I'm not hearing cases with people driving or as passengers in cars.
Okay, I will pull over right now.
Short of us coming out to everybody's house and doing these on boats and stuff in the summer, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I have an emergency. I'm going out of town for a family member, but I will have my driver pull over. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to be in a car, but hang on 1 second.
Am I crazy, or does it not look like you're driving that car?
I'm not driving the car. I'm a passenger in the car, sir.
Is she driving, Jackson?
Oh, yeah, you can see her arms extended like this.
I'm on the left-hand side.
How would you be on the left-hand side if you're a passenger in the front seat? Am I missing something?
Right-hand side. I'm sorry. I've been sitting in a room. I didn't know.
I've been sitting in a room.
Oh, my goodness.
The seatbelt's coming off of the driver's side.
Oh, my God. See, he's stuck on it now.
You're lying to me. Right?
You're in trouble.
Sir.
Let me see the driver.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Let me see the driver.
He just got out.
Hang on 1 second.
Now.
I have to ask their permission.
Now.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, you are in a lot of doo-doo.
Oh, you're not in the you weren't in the driver's side. You think I'm that stupid? I'm going to go ahead and enter a default judgment. Our paperwork says that we can't that they can't drive. Does it not, Jennifer?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I took a breath in and started choking. Well, I missed what
Does
you
our
said.
paperwork not tell people?
That was Kimberly Carroll of Detroit, Michigan. She joined a court Zoom call while on the road this week. She was scheduled for an appearance before a Woodhaven district judge. Of course, driving a car while appearing in court is something you cannot do when facing a judge. Kimberly Carroll is in a little bit of trouble with her finances, being sued for over $2,000. The court session was held over Zoom, and Carroll was not on call when Green told Judge Michael K. McNally he was looking to default. Later, an unnamed profile, only labeled iPhone, tried joining the call, later determined to be Carol, who was joining late. McNally would tell her to turn her camera on and to ensure she has her name listed on her account.
Can't drive while you're going to court.
Well, you can't lie when there's a camera on you.
No, Your Honor, I wasn't driving. Well, you're in the driver's seat. I can see the seatbelt. I can see your hands on the wheel. No, that wasn't me.
That's AI.
Show me the
That's AI.
Show me the driver. I don't have their permission.
Yeah, let me ask their permission, Judge.
So she has released a statement about this viral incident.
Uh-huh.
I want to be clear that I take responsibility for my mistake. Appearing on a Zoom court hearing while I was driving was poor judgment.
Oh, she was driving.
And I regret that decision, and I panicked in the moment and made the wrong call instead of pulling over or asking to reschedule. For that, I am truly sorry. At the same time, I believe what has happened since has gone far beyond addressing a mistake. A brief moment of poor judgment has turned it into a viral spectacle that is affecting my reputation, my family, and my ability to move forward with my life.
Ma'am, you might just want to sit this one out.
I respect the court and the rule of law, but I also believe in fairness and proportionality.
Is her name Karen?
Carol.
Close enough.
Ma'am, you made a bad decision.
Ma'am, in a
She
moment
owns
of...
that mistake, Ken, and they've turned it into a viral spectacle. A spectacle, I say.
And now she is a Ninkham Poop nominee on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Y'all don't vote for Jackson. He'll win, and it's just Thursday, and he'll win the week, and he'll be insufferable at scoreboards tomorrow. I beg of you, vote for anybody but Jackson. Vote for Weaver. Vote for Murphy. My guy tried to steal a plane.
He did.
He was drunk and driving and indecently exposing himself. Ken's guy's perfectly serviceable. Anybody but Jackson, I beg of you people. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I will not stand for this.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. I'm seeing some breaking news now out of our nation's capital. The Associated Press reports President Trump is going to sign an executive order to pay TSA agents amidst the ongoing partial government shutdown. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump says he's extended the deadline for U.S. and Iranian negotiators to reach a deal to end the war, during which the U.S. will not target energy facilities. So he's pausing bombing Iran's biggest energy plants for 10 days, saying that negotiations are, quote, going very well. Confidence in Nashville's leadership took a major hit after January's ice storm. According to new polling from Vanderbilt University, the survey shows optimism about the city's direction is falling to its lowest level in more than a decade, with many blaming failures during prolonged power outages, while most residents blame Mother Nature or Nashville Electric Service more than the mayor. Approval ratings for city leaders still dropped sharply. That Vanderbilt poll covered license plate reader technology, still on hold in Davidson County, even though the poll shows a majority of Nashvillians support it. News 2 says 57% said it is more important to have LPRs to catch criminals than preventing local police data from being used for federal or immigration enforcement. The poll sampled a little more than 1,000 Nashville residents from late February to mid-March. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes South Loop westbound before the downtown split. Eastbound right there at 4th Avenue. Hermitage, Lebanon Pike west of Jackson Downs. A stalled vehicle off-ramp partially blocked. 40 westbound off-ramp to White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway. And in Old Hickory, we still have Old Hickory Boulevard shut down between Lakeshore Drive and Chute Lane, where that fire truck crashed. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Currently tabulating Nincompoop votes as we speak. We'll give you the updated total coming up in mere moments. Your telephone call is always available or always accepted, and the phone lines are always available to you at 615-737-9986. Have I told everyone what time I got up this morning? This last hour is going to be fun. Let me tell you, if you've always wanted to get Murphy, I'm totally gettable. 615-737-9986. The gas meter is running low, friends. Little Murphy got up and actually had to work today. I went to the, by the way, kudos to Men of Valor. What a wonderful organization this is. Tommy and Alex and Kurt and all the rest of the team at Men of Valor. Such good people. A fine organization that I'm proud to be associated with. We've talked about Men of Valor for a long time. We've had the opportunity to broadcast on the Men of Valor campus on several different occasions here in Nashville. There's another campus in Knoxville. And I had the pleasure of sitting with Pamela Furr, the redheaded stranger, amongst others, and amongst, I guess, 1,800 of our closest friends as we enjoyed the prayer breakfast this morning at Music City Center. If you were there and I didn't see you, I'm sorry for that. I appreciate you attending and supporting Men of Valor. Let me tell you something. These stories that these men tell, I've never left there without tears in my eyes, tears of sadness for what some of these men went through, tears of sadness as to what it led them to in terms of committing criminal acts, getting incarcerated for any number of reasons, and tears of joy for where they find themselves in the spiritual light that they are now in. Finding God's grace and finding the love of Jesus Christ is a wonderful thing. And it's what Men of Valor does on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just so happy to be associated with the organization and happy to tell you what a wonderful time was had by the individuals in attendance at Music City Center this morning, bright and early. But it did necessitate me getting up. Jackson, you want to guess when the old alarm clock went off this morning for young Matt Murphy?
4:30.
4:40. I squeezed in an extra 10 minutes. Got out of the Mount Pleasant area at about 5:20 this morning. Got into the greater Nashville area at around 6:20 in the morning and got down to Music City Center about 6:35, 6:40. And the program started at 7 o'clock. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was spiritual, and it really touches your heart. Guess who made an appearance toward the end? Governor Bill Lee was there. I did not get a chance to say hello to the governor, but I'm sure if I did, Jackson, he would have said hello to you. You know, governor loves you.
He does.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Big fan of Jackson. I did get a chance to see Jelly Roll.
How was Jelly Roll?
He looked good. Man, he's getting skinny. I mean, skinny. I mean, I don't know that I'm comfortable calling him Jelly Roll anymore. Maybe just Jelly. There's not a lot of rolls there anymore.
Got any more name drops you want to get in?
I was there. But those are the big three, really. It's like, so if you're watching on Talk TV, Jelly Roll, Governor Bill Lee, and then Matt, I'm way down here. You with me? No, Jelly Roll. So you kind of felt the illusion. The governor made an allusion to the fact that Jelly Roll, he and Jelly Roll met one another 17 years ago when Jelly Roll was incarcerated, before Jelly Roll was Jelly Roll and before Governor Bill Lee was Governor Bill Lee. And he told that story at the beginning of the program, and then Jelly Roll came out at the end and sang "This Little Light of Mine," and it was a lovely event. I did not meet Jelly Roll. I was in the room. I'd love to. Wouldn't you like to talk to Jelly?
I've actually gotten to before.
What?
Yeah, he called in when I was over on the sports station a couple times.
What are you talking about?
I've told you about this.
I don't really listen to what you say when we're not on the radio.
That's
Tell me
very
again.
fair.
Tell me again.
Jelly called into a show. He's working on the zone.
Oh, did he now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was wanting to talk a little sports?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for you. And was this after he was Jelly?
Yeah, this was like
I forget what his name is.
DeFord.
His last name's DeFord, I think.
I think this would have been like May.
Somebody said we should call him Jelly Bean now. That's fair. So he was there. It was a good event, and I just wanted to thank the people of Men of Valor for the wonderful work that they do in our community. No thank you to the Nashville Predators. I'm sincere when I ask this question, especially if there's anybody listening that is homosexual. And I'm not here to call you out. I'm not here to challenge you on anything other than why do we still have Pride nights for the gay community? There was I get it. I suppose there was a time when people were fearful of reprisal. If they came out and said that, talked about their sexual orientation or sexual preferences, they would be, pushed aside, cast aside, fired in their workplace, whatever it might be. And so I guess I can understand, I try to understand why like-minded individuals within a given community would say, hey, we can be proud of who we are, and we can be proud of the way we live our lives and all of those sorts of things. And that's fine. And then others can be proud of the way that they live their lives and proud of who they are. And it's America. It's a free country. And I'm not knocking that. I genuinely don't understand why gay people can't take the win. Right? Like, take the W and go on home with it. Because nobody cares. Or at least I don't. I don't care. I just genuinely do not care. But it's annoying when I see these. You know who's playing at the Predators tonight there, Jackson? Besides the Predators, and I think it's the Devils, which is funny because it's Gay Pride Night. But so, people have fun with that. They call themselves the Cowgays.
Oh.
It's a band.
Well, there's another fella playing tonight.
Oh, that the guy that do it, the
jump behind the net. And it's Wierenski. Now Jack Hughes.
That's what I'm proud of.
The United States with numbers. Back across the top. Jack Hughes wins it.
Yeah.
A golden goal for the United States.
Have a little pride for the U.S. Is that guy playing? Really?
He plays for the Devils.
Oh, well, there you go. I wonder, but here, the reason I bring this up, because look, not my arena, not my party, not my monkey, not my circus, right? What do you think would happen to one of the Predators if one of the Predators said, you know what, I'm not comfortable wearing the jersey that promotes the Gay Pride Night because they've got like the rainbow colors in the Predators jersey, because I'm a Christian person and I don't believe, in my faith. I'm not knocking anybody else. They can live a life that they want to live. God will figure all of that out in God's time. But for me, I'm a believer in the Christian faith, and we believe that homosexual activity is wrong. We hate the sin, not the sinner. But I can't actively engage or promote this. What do you think would happen? Do you think anybody would do that? Do you think there would be reprisals if they did that? Is there going to be a straight Pride night? I mean, I was told reliably by gay people for years, and I bought into. And by the way, my bona fides are well established. I don't care if you get married. I don't care how you live your life. As long as you're not doing anything to harm other people, as long as you're not engaging in behavior with people that are not at the age of consent, all of that, as long as you're at the age of majority and you're with a consenting adult and you're doing things I don't care the way you live your life. I do not care. It's a free country. I might not live my life that way, and I might privately judge you, but I'm not going to deny you the ability to do it. At the same time, I just want fairness. Fair is fair. I learned that from the Legend of Billie Jean, right? Fair is fair. Where's straight Pride Night? You told me reliably you can't have it both ways. You told me reliably for decades that homosexuality is not a choice, that you were born this way. Well, if you're born this way, what are you so proud about? You didn't have anything to do with it. Oh, well, Matt, we show our pride because we were underserved for so long. We were underground for so long. We were in the closet for so long. Well, you won that. My Lord. I don't know. Perhaps It's just me. Now, 4460, you're exactly right. I'm fine with you being just as miserable as all of the straight married people. But I tell you this, I believe if a player attempted to say that they weren't going to wear the jersey, they'd be punished. I believe that. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Justin Pearson, who is running for Congress over there in Shelby County, Tennessee, that would be Memphis, Tennessee, has come out with another post regarding Donald Trump in Memphis, saying that Donald Trump doesn't run Memphis and that Ted Townsend doesn't run Memphis and that Elon Musk doesn't run Memphis. The people are the power, he said. Stand with us, says Justin Pearson, one of the Bullhorn Trio. He says, stand with us and the millions of people across the country as we say no to authoritarianism and this evil administration. That's right. Justin Pearson is promoting yet another No Kings rally in Memphis. This No Kings rally is happening this Saturday from 2 until 6 at the Robert R. Church Park, 191 Beale Street. RSVP on this little flyer. I've posted this on my website, or rather on my...
You got a website?
I do have a website, but it's like 10, 12 years old. I got to get it fixed. I posted this up on my my Twitter page, at Matt Murphy Show. Follow me, at Matt Murphy Show. This is pretty funny. It says, mobilize and boycott, or no, mobilize and boycott. We don't just speak, we move. After the rally, we march to Beale Street and activate a boycott, flooding downtown with community, music, and Memphis dollars. If you stand with Memphis, Memphis stands with you. So, wait a minute. So, you're telling me that you're having a No Kings rally, and then after the rally, you're promoting to mobilize to get change by spending money in the city? A boycott, huh? Ooh, that'll show them. Ooh. What? Like, what are y'all even doing? So you're getting together and you're holding up signs, and so we kick off at the Robert Church Park with a powerful, peaceful rally that blends protest and joy through creative protest signs, speakers, and community booths, and a united crowd. We declare Memphis belongs to the people and not occupation forces or fascists. We will be collecting donations for the immigrant pantry. And then they're going to do a boycott. Does this not sound like a street festival? That's what it sounds like to me.
Will there be snacks?
Yeah, I think there will be, Jackson. And then they're going to spend some money in good old Memphis. Well, good for you. Stimulate that local free market economy, will you? No Kings rally in Memphis. Y'all enjoy a boycott. They can't even manage a one-day boycott. That doesn't work either. And they sure as hell can't manage to actually sacrifice anything. And oh, by the way, we don't have any kings, so you already won that. Congratulations. It's 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. The Wellness Institute is here for all of you people that are suffering, perhaps suffering in silence. If you're in pain, if you hurt anywhere that you hurt, they can assist you at the Wellness Institute. Dr. Mitchell, he's a kind soul. He's such a good guy. He was good to me last week during our 1000th episode, and he'll be good to you as well. He'll be good to you when it comes to your pain, hip pain, knee pain, elbow pain, back pain, back pain, back pain, back pain. They can assist you. I say back pain 4 times because it hurts in so many different places, right? That back pain can be alleviated through the Wellness Institute of Nashville and the spinal decompression that they offer, or the overall decompression, or the HydroWave technology, the only place in the state of Tennessee to have it. Friends, this HydroWave is pretty cool. It stimulates your own stem cells in your body to regenerate tissue, helping grow blood vessels for healing through a process called angiogenesis. It's a fancy way of saying it alleviates the pain without the need for pills, without the need for needles, and without the need for surgery. And that is what it's all about. 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or painisbad.com, painisbad.com for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about those sparkly things that the ladies in your life, they really, really love. I mean, fellas, I understand you might like a nice pre-owned Rolex, or maybe you would like a piece of jewelry with a couple of diamonds in it, but the lady in your life, she absolutely loves the sparkly things, and if you don't believe me, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Genesis Diamonds. They're not going to pressure you in any way. They're going to help you. They'll offer you a beverage, fellas. They'll ask some questions about your loved one's style and taste, and they'll give you an education. And now, if you're getting a ring, you might want to know the ring size. That's very important. But if you're getting a pendant or bracelet or, earrings, you're all good. They'll find you something from their incredible selection at Genesis, and it will overwhelm you to begin with, but don't you worry. They'll feed you baby birds. They'll walk you through. Bottom line, they're not going to take advantage of you. They're non-commissioned. They're there to help. And then you buy that thing in your budget, and you take it home, and you give it to the loved one in your life, and she'll go, "Wah!" She'll just go insane over it, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say the ladies like the sparkly. And you get the sparkly from the one and only Genesis Diamonds, a true direct importer with rock-bottom prices. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, too. Genesis Diamonds, Cool Springs and Green Hills. Tell them Murphy sent you.
All right, got brand new crash. It's off ramp partially blocked 65 northbound to Long Hollow Pike. Then a stalled vehicle, left lane blocked 65 northbound past mile marker 100. So a couple of problems there in Goodlettsville. In Hermitage, got a wreck, Lebanon Pike west of Jackson Downs Boulevard. And in Lakewood, got an injury crash. Old Hickory Boulevard is still shut down there in Lakewood, both directions. This after a fire truck crashed because the firefighter driving it had a medical emergency, slammed through some power poles into a building. 2 other people were hurt, but did not require any medical attention there. They were asked if they wanted to go to the hospital. They said no, they were going to be okay. But yeah, right now, Old Hickory Boulevard in Lakewood is shut down there because of that crash involving that fire truck. I'm Ken Weaver.
Huh. Is that how we're doing it now?
We're having some major technical difficulties.
All right.
Having big fun back here, me and Brother Weaver.
I love it. Look, I'm here for the ride, fellas.
Woo, that's why we call it live radio.
Y'all, you boys work on that. I'll talk to you. Tell me to stop. How about that?
You're good.
I'm good?
Yeah, you're good, brother.
So I can
Murphy.
stop? Oh, okay. I think I know I'm good. Are y'all good?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I'll be fine, man.
All right, everybody's
It's
good.
just going to be, it's a little different.
Yeah, sure. Matt, Jackson, Matt, Ken, Matt, Jackson, Matt, Jackson, Matt. Looks like I won today.
I don't think that's the vote count,
I
brother.
think that is absolute. Murphy, MM. I only heard Jackson, so by default I vote Ken Weaver. See?
Yay!
I'm sorry, Murph. I love you, but Jackson brought audio. You know, that's something I want to talk to you about. We ain't supposed to be bringing audio to the table.
You have all three of us have the same capabilities.
Oh, so we're bringing audio now, is it?
Yeah.
Is that how it's going to be? Uh-huh.
Can't swear, though.
Is that how it's going to be? You going to call Steve? I'm sorry, that I'm alluding to a Kevin Hart bit that's very, very funny. Is that how it's going to be? You going to call Steve, huh?
I'm calling Steve.
Give me the trash. I'll take the trash out. Don't worry about it. My dad didn't want Steve to lay hands on him again. I'm going to do the official count, and we'll take it under advisement. It says that Bill wants to talk about the gays. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Bill, I'm great.
Yeah, man. I heard you talking about that, and it seems like it's fine for them to rally, but if we have a straight rally, well, they'd lose their minds because they try to say we weren't accepting them or some crazy shit.
Okay, dokie. But hey, so here's the deal, Bill. Why did I know? Why did I just feel that in my bones?
I did as well.
Didn't you feel that one?
I'm not gonna lie.
That one. Felt that one coming a mile away.
I looked at the dump button about 3 seconds before he said it.
Jeez, Spinelli. If you're listening online, you heard it and you get it, and that's okay. If you're listening on the radio, Bill said something you can't say on the radio. Bill, there's basically 2 words you can't say on the radio, and you just popped one of them, brother boy, and so you got to go. 32 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Some breaking news out of our nation's capital. The Associated Press put out a news alert, said President Trump intends to sign an executive order that will pay the TSA workers under this ongoing partial government shutdown. Meanwhile, Operation Epic Fury, President Trump posting to Truth Social that he has given Iran another 10 days to come to a deal to end the war before he starts bombing their big energy plants because, as he says in his social media post, talks, I'm quoting here, are going very well. Money news, here's Chuck Sievertson.
Wall Street now. Stocks taking another tumble Thursday after Iran appears to reject a U.S. peace proposal, raising crude oil costs and lowering investor hopes for a quick end to the war. The Dow closed 470 points down, with the Nasdaq down 521 points, and the S&P 500 taking its biggest loss since the war began at 114 points. The average long-term U.S. mortgage rate climbed once again this week, reaching 6.38% from 6.22% the week prior, its highest one-week increase since last April. Just 4 weeks ago, the average rate had dropped below 6% for the first time since 2022, but concerns over high inflation due to the ongoing war with Iran appear to be contributing to these higher rates. Despite domestic and international upheavals over the last 12 months, new data shows the average Wall Street bonus last year rose around 6% to a record average $246,000. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Goodlettsville got a couple of problems on 65. We got a crash blocking the off-ramp, 65 northbound to Long Hollow Pike. Then a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane just past mile marker 100. Hermitage got a crash, This is going to be Lebanon Pike, just west of Jackson Downs Boulevard. And then in Lakewood, injury crash. Old Hickory Boulevard is shut down there in Lakewood after a fire truck crashed into some telephone poles, some cars, and then into a building. The firefighter driving the truck apparently suffered some sort of medical emergency and has been taken to a hospital. 2 other people were hurt. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hi, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about bugs. Bugs bug me, and I know that they bug you. And if you're being bugged by bugs at your home, your place of business, there's a solution, and it's in the form of U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest can prevent bug infestation. They can prevent spiders and roaches and all of the other things that, well, we just don't want in our homes or on our property. I don't mention this enough, but they do property protection as well. They can give you a full inspection and a mosquito, tick, or flea treatment on your property. And if you're already a customer, U.S. Pest, you refer a neighbor, a friend, or a family member, you'll receive a $50 credit on your account or a free mosquito, tick, or flea treatment as well. The purpose of pest control is simple: to keep the icky things out of your life, to keep these bugs out of your life. They bring disease in with them, and these diseases can be bad for you and the family. It affects your health. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of the ick with U.S. Pest. They love the United States of America. They hate bugs. Call them today at 590-1260, 590-1260, or online at uspest.com. All right, we've got updates on the voting. YouTube was found, I guess it was Meta that was found liable. I think I wrote down YouTube, but it's Meta. This California gubernatorial debate, have y'all heard about this? It's a pretty funny story. I'll share it with you coming up in just a moment. But right now we have the results. And I want to get your Rivergate memories, if you have any, in the last few minutes of the show. 615-737-9986, because they're tearing it down. And it's I guess, nostalgia is a form of depression, and I guess it's very nostalgic for some folks who experienced Rivergate in its heyday. My understanding that Rivergate was the bomb, man.
Oh, yeah. No, that was the mall I went to as a kid. Took pictures with Santa and did all that stuff when I was a wee lad.
So we'll get to that in a moment. But right now I have the results of the voting in today's Ninkham Poops in the News. You want to give me a horn or something to announce the results? Just a quick little. Here are the results. Jackson won. Oh, wait. I don't. Are you directing the orchestra? Jeez. I don't know why y'all do this. Some folks said that they voted for you just because I told them not to.
How close was it?
You won by like 5 votes over me.
Is that including the YouTube?
That is not including the YouTube.
So
I don't even go
8.
to the YouTube. I don't go to the YouTube unless it's a close contest on the chat feature, and then I go to the YouTube chat. But on the text machine, you won by 5 votes. I do like the +1, -1 thing. Once I figure out the top 2 vote getters, I go back and I count, and you were +5 by the time 6:10 rolled around on the text line.
So I would like to thank my loyal subjects for is this 4 weeks in a row this will be?
Subjects. I think this is, Jackson. I think that this will be next week.
Weaver's
will be
out next week. So we will be playing exhibitions all next week.
What do you mean exhibitions? Well, if I win, then...
That's what they did when all of us were out for Christmas, so I figured that's what we were doing again.
Okay.
So I will keep the trophy for 2 weeks.
Jeez, and then I'm out the following week. I'm out 2 days, so I don't know what to tell you.
We'll do a best of 3.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to bring you back when I'm out. I'm going to find you some worthwhile princely robes so you can wear those. How about that?
But the crown stays home for another week. Here on Ninkham Poops in the News.
I'm just, there are certain things that some people are better at than others. Jackson is simply better at nincompoopery. But we should have known that from the beginning. Jackson, when is your first memory of Rivergate Mall?
My first memory is kind of tough. But I remember it back in its towards the end of the heyday of Rivergate Mall. I remember the toy store and, all the different things, Dillard's, Sears, JCPenney, all the anchors were still there when I was a kid. And it was the mall.
Thank you, Jackson. I was sneezing there.
When I think of the mall as a kid,
That's
I think
what you
of
think
Rivergate.
of. So, it's kind of a sad story. They're tearing the mall down up in Goodlettsville. They're making way. I had the story in front of me, and now I've lost it for some reason. But they decided to, they made this decision some time ago, and now they have moved forward with the destruction of the Rivergate Mall. I only had one experience of the Rivergate Mall, and I was late to the game, obviously. I missed the heyday, obviously. It is my understanding that there was a time, and I've read several stories, when you would find the likes of Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and other country music, just royalty, going into the Rivergate Mall to do signings and the like. They were so close by, many of them living in Hendersonville, and that was the big mall nearby. My only memory, my only experience with the Rivergate Mall, I needed a set of headphones. I mentioned earlier that I like some very specific types of headphones, the Sony Studio Professionals. And you can get those at a variety of places, but Guitar Center is an easy way to get them. And there was a Guitar Center at Rivergate Mall. I did not know that Rivergate Mall was virtually abandoned. So I went into Guitar Center. I went in through the exterior entryway. And after I made my purchase, actually, I don't think I made a purchase there because I think they were out of the Sony Pros. I went into the mall proper, and I walked through the mall, and it was freaky. What is the word that y'all will know this word? Someone will. The word. There's a way to describe things that are supposed to be crowded that aren't, like places that are. Oh, what is the phrase that people use? If you walk into an airport terminal and it's completely empty, or when you walk into a mall and it's completely empty and abandoned, there's a word that people use to describe that, and I can't for the life of me remember it. But I got that distinct feeling when I was going through the Rivergate Mall, because while it was still quote unquote on life support and there were a few places there, good gracious, it was freaky in its desolate way. Liminal spaces is what I'm thinking about. Liminal spaces where, I mean, it's surreal, but the phrase is called, it's a liminal space, where if you walk into an environment that should be filled with people, that should be filled with things, like if you ever go to a Walmart or a Target or another big box store and they've cleaned out the shelves and like everything's empty, it just gives you an unnatural feeling. And it gives you the heebie-jeebies, and I got the heebie-jeebies when I walked through the Rivergate Mall.
So my favorite store in Rivergate Mall was a store called Sports Seasons, local sports memorabilia, jerseys, hats kind of store.
Mm-hmm.
They survived up until 2 years ago.
They were probably there when I walked through there.
Yeah, they were definitely there. Sports Seasons, just one of the best.
And now, all gone, destroyed. Will be apartment complexes, a mix of apartments and retail space and other mixed-use spaces. I don't know if they're saving portions of the mall. But let me tell you something, folks. The days of the indoor mall are over. And Cool Springs is surviving.
Opry Mills is fine.
I don't understand. I don't mean this to sound anti-Opry Mills, but you drive by there, and I'm talking at any day, on any weekend, it is
wall-to-wall traffic.
Jam-packed. And I'm like, where are y'all going?
I went to like a 9:30, 10 o'clock movie.
And it's jam-packed.
And there was traffic getting into the, like I was running a little behind because there was traffic getting into the mall. And the movie theater wasn't that crowded. It was when I went and saw Scream 7.
I do not understand what all those people are doing. I mean,
Dave & Buster's.
I mean, I suppose.
Wax Museum. You want to go to the Wax Museum?
Bass Pro Shops?
We can go tomorrow if you want.
Okay. Sure. Let's go right after the show, Jackson.
I don't got to be anywhere till 9:15.
Let's stay for a while. We'll do little poses. Yeah.
We'll go to the Orange Julius. You ever had an Orange Julius?
I've never had an Orange Julius. But the first time I ever ate Chick-fil-A was at the Augusta Mall in Augusta, Georgia, just down the road from Thompson, my hometown, Thomson, no P in Thompson.
You ever had a Cinnabon?
Oh, yeah. Cinnabon. Oh, yeah. What are you talking about? Great American Cookie Company?
Haven't had that in a minute.
Oh, man. Big Cookie?
They had that at Rivergate. I remember exactly where the one was at Rivergate. I don't know where the one in Opry Mills is.
A lot of people are saying that people go for the Bass Pro. I mean, I understand Opry Mills is not Opry Land. We'll be tomorrow at Scoreboard, which is very close to where Opry Land used to be. And every time I go to Scoreboard, and I know it's a relatively vibrant place now, but if you go to the Troubadour Theater, if you go to that little shopping area where some of the vintage shops are, if you go to Scoreboard, the armored martial arts fighting places over there, but you go to Cooters or Nashville Palace, I just imagine those places in the early 1990s when the go-kart place was still hopping, when the putt-putt was still hopping. I bet it was just the place to be on a Saturday night. The place to be. And now it's still nice, but it's not what it was when Opryland was popping. Victor's got a thought on Rivergate. Hey, Victor, how are you?
All right, buddy. I've got a lot to tell you. I mean, I listen to your show all the time, and I gave tours for downtown Nashville. But listen, when we was a kid, high school, we circled Rivergate, and that was a hangout for high schools. If you got caught, you get arrested, but better go buy something. But I managed Sears. I managed DJ's Benz Apparel for a year. I managed Tedesco for several years, and I managed Kitty. So I was there for 30-something years. I can tell you anything you want to know about it.
Wait, so you say you managed over there?
Absolutely, 35 years.
Oh, wow. Boy, oh, boy. I bet that place was hopping back in the day, Victor.
Well, yeah, at Hiddersfield High School, we circled the place.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The police said no circling, but that was a hangout. You know, we didn't have no place to go, so we had to circle the mall and hang out.
Man, we used to, in my little hometown of Thompson, THOMSONOP in Thompson, we used to drive from the McDonald's to the Sonic and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's all we did.
Yeah, that was the thing to do back in those days if you didn't get caught.
You just go cruising, right?
Hell yeah.
I mean, heck yeah. That's right. Well, look, 6170, I'm getting a lot of people, Victor, telling me they did the same thing. They used to cruise Rivergate when they were teenagers. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it was great. It was great. And there was like a couple of bars there. There was a Showboat. There was called the Brass A Saloon. And it was just an awesome place to hang out.
Well, no, these are great memories. I'm being told, however, Jackson, that you need to revise the memory in your mind that it was not I'm just reporting the news, Jackson, that it was not, in fact, the Great American Cookie Company. To correct action, Jackson, it was the cookie store at Rivergate.
Is that not the same thing?
No.
Well, big cookies with icing?
I mean, they're selling the same thing.
It's potatoes, potato.
The Great American Cookie Company is a specific store. I understand what you're saying. I understand what this texter's saying. I'm not getting in the middle of it. Y'all fight amongst yourselves. I will say this. The indoor mall, RIP. And you're right. Opry Mills is I don't understand it. I don't understand. It's got
a lot of stuff.
Like they got a lot of stuff, but good gracious, do we need to shop that much?
But, I mean, there's also the movie theater, Dave & Buster's, the Wax Museum.
Grand Ole Opry,
General Jackson.
I guess.
I mean, there's just a lot of stuff over there.
I mean, there's still a lot of things. And whatever they're doing to the Gaylord Opryland Hotel, I can't tell you. Have you seen it lately?
No, I didn't look.
They are building to the road, like to the expressway. Like there used to be a through road in front of the Gaylord Opryland.
Oh, they took that out?
From Briley. Oh, they are at Briley Parkway now with their construction.
Oh, that is probably why there was traffic, because that through road used to alleviate mall traffic.
They are coming all the way. I mean, they are against Briley Parkway. I have no idea what they're doing. I assume they're just making additions to the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. But boy, oh boy, it is right against the road. 53 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This message to you, Jackson, because I don't know if we'll have time after the break. It's not the same. The cookie store was much better, Action Jackson. Okay, fair enough. Good enough. Friends, speaking of good enough, do you work out? Do you try to get exercise? Do you try to do walking and you just don't see the results in the mirror? If it's just not good enough with your love handles, with your belly, with your, wherever it, hangs over, wherever it's a place where you don't like it, if you're not fitting into your blue jeans or your dress the way you want, Contours is for you. Our friends at Contours LLC, they have incredible specials running. They've got the Belly Buster special, which will get you in the door for $99. And if you don't lose over 2 inches on your midsection, it is free. And I lost 2.67 inches on my midsection. Ask them about it when you make the call that so many others have made. It is safe. It is painless. It's effective. It's cost effective. It works. I'm a testimony to the fact that it works. You'll feel better. You will lose the size. You will lose the weight. that you're trying to get off from Contours LLC. Call them today and find out how this goes down. 615-236-9960, 236-9960, or online at contoursllc.com, contoursllc.com. Man, y'all are right about that. We traded hangouts and cruising for video games and social media. Sad, sad, sad. We'll do it again tomorrow from Scoreboard. Come and see us. Until then, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, have a great evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.